hidden wonders awaiting your understanding, truths I am longing to reveal, depths of love and meaning you barely imagined possible springing forth just as you are ready to listen. This is not just another message among countless words you have heard. This is my living voice speaking and moving toward you, seeking to touch places in your spirit that hunger for reassurance, healing, and purpose. If you let my words pass you by, you might miss what I have woven for your healing and transformation at this very hour. But if you let me draw near, if you rest in my presence, you will find answers that are more than explanations and comfort that is more than relief. It is new life itself. I am drawing you close, not with commands from afar, but with a tender invitation to come nearer. This is not a letter or a sermon. This is my heart for you, shared openly, speaking just as a loving father would to his cherished child. You carry much within you, questions that echo in the stillness, hopes both bright and fragile, burdens that sometimes whisper of defeat. Hear me, I am not far from your struggles, not oblivious to the weight you carry or the things you hide from others. There is no shadow within you too dense for my light, or wound too deep for my gentle hands. Let yourself be seen and known without fear, for my love is not given because you are flawless, but because you are mine. The longing for peace that never fades, the desire for belonging, the need to feel truly alive, all these are ways I am calling you into the center of my heart. I do not want you merely to survive or drift along. I want you to live abundantly, to awaken day after day knowing you are sustained by my care and guided by my wisdom, even in the smallest details of your life. You may have wondered if my promises include you, if my eyes would ever focus on your life among so many. Let me settle that question. I see you fully. I formed you with intention and delight. Nothing about your story escapes my notice or my care. When you stumble, I am not disappointed. My patience is not measured in human moments, but rooted in relentless grace. Have you sensed the gentleness in the way the morning light spills through your window, the strength in the way hope keeps pulling you forward, the comfort in a friend's imperfect embrace? These are traces of me, reminders that you are continuously pursued by a love both fierce and tender. Though you may have heard my name spoken many ways, misunderstood or distorted by human lips, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I have always desired closeness, not distance. Often you have been taught requirements and rituals, but I come to offer relationship real, honest, unpolished. Come with your doubts, your failures, your scattered prayers. Bring your laughter, your silence, and even your anger. I welcome all of it. Nothing you reveal will cause me to turn away. In fact, my presence draws nearer to every unguarded word, to every honest ache. If you think your unworthiness disqualifies you, listen carefully. Your very need is what calls my compassion to you most strongly. Let the story of your life, with all its twists and seeming detours, become a tapestry through which I will show my faithfulness. I am not waiting for you to have everything sorted, to become perfect or powerful in your own strength. I find you in your vulnerability, and there I speak life and hope. Do not despise the slow, hidden seasons. Just as seeds break open beneath the ground before a single green shoot appears, so I am working within you, in secret ways, preparing you for harvests you cannot yet imagine. Your present struggles do not define your future. My purposes for you are never put to waste in times of sorrow or confusion. Trust that even what feels wasted or forgotten will become rich soil, bearing fruit in time. Lift your eyes from the limitations that have defined you, the labels spoken over you by others or by your own weary heart are not your true name. I call you beloved, chosen, called for a purpose beyond your sight. Let my words settle deeper than any accusation, disappointment, or regret. The The identity I give reorders your past, secures your present, and assures your future. I long for you to see yourself as I do, radiant with the goodness I placed within you from the beginning, strong because my strength is made perfect in your weakness, precious beyond measure. There are times when the way forward seems covered in shadow, when prayers feel unanswered and hope flickers. Do not believe the lie that I am distant or unconcerned. I am with you in the silence, attentive to every sigh and unspoken cry. My answers sometimes come as quiet nudges, a peace you cannot explain, or a sudden courage to take the next small step. I do not waste your waiting. I am shaping you, anchoring trust in the unseen, teaching you that my presence is not a prize for victories, but a companion through the valley and the mountaintop alike. When you think you have failed me or drifted too far, remember, nothing separates you from my love, not even your doubts or mistakes. Let me teach you what it means to rest, not just to stop moving, but to trust so deeply in my care that even your struggles become places of meeting me. Many chase after approval and achievement, wearing exhaustion like armor. I invite you to set those burdens down. Rest is not idleness. It is the assurance that you are loved before you accomplish anything, cherished before you perform. In my embrace, you rediscover the joy of being, not only doing. Let stillness become sacred again. Let silence be a doorway, not a threat. There, in quiet spaces, you will recognize my whisper, the assurance that you are never alone. Too often, worries crowd your heart, the future, the needs of those you love, the opinions of others. Hear me. I hold every unfolding day, every fragile relationship, every anxious question. You are not responsible for holding the world together. That is my strength, not yours. Release the need to control, and you will find new freedom to love, to risk, to rejoice. When your prayers feel small or awkward, know that I hear every word, every longing. I respond not to the eloquence of your speech, but to the honesty of your heart. Do not shrink back from asking, from wrestling, from lamenting. I would rather you draw near with all your complexity than remain at a safe distance pretending to have it all together. The world teaches you to measure your worth by what you can produce or accomplish. I say you are valuable simply because you exist in my love. Consider the lilies, their beauty shaped in secret, their needs met without feverish striving. You too are cared for in ways that transcend anxiety. Step into each day with the quiet confidence that I delight in you, that my plans for you include joy as well as responsibility, laughter as well as trial. Your growth is not measured by comparison, but by the steady movement toward me, no matter how slow it seems. I never tire of nurturing new life within you. When storms come, and they will, I am not absent. I stand beside you in the raging wind and the crushing waves. The peace I offer is not the absence of trouble, but the assurance that nothing can overwhelm you when you rest in me. Let your faith become the anchor that holds in hardship, not because it is always strong, but because I am faithful even when you falter. I do not shame you for your fear. I invite you to bring it to me, to let me transform it into courage. In every trial, I am working not simply to restore you, but to remake you ever more fully into the person I dreamed of from the beginning. I place within you desires and dreams not to tease you with unreachable hopes, but to invite you to walk with me into all that is possible. Sometimes you are afraid to hope, fearing disappointment. Yet hope is the lifeblood of faith, the daring to trust that goodness and mercy will pursue you all the days of your life. Lift your eyes, dare to imagine beyond the boundaries of yesterday's pain. I will lead you on paths of purpose, sometimes winding, sometimes unexpected, but always guided by my wisdom and love. Entrust your dreams to me. I hold them carefully, shaping and refining them, opening doors that no one else can open, and closing those that would harm you. Every relationship in your life is an opportunity to display my love and to receive it. You are not meant to walk alone. Even in seasons of loneliness, I am present, and I send companions who reflect something of my kindness and truth. Where relationships are strained or broken, I offer grace to heal and strength to forgive. Let go of bitterness, for it only binds your own heart. Forgiveness is not forgetting, but releasing the right to judge into my hands, trusting that I see and I will bring justice in my time. In opening your heart, even to those who have hurt you, you reflect my heart, a heart that never tires of pursuing reconciliation. Look at your life not by what you lack, but by the gifts I have entrusted to you: compassion, resilience, creativity, the ability to bring light where there is darkness. You are not small or insignificant. You carry my image, and wherever you go, you have the capacity to bring hope, to speak life, to act as my hands and feet. Each act of kindness, each word of encouragement, each prayer whispered in faith, these are seeds sown for a harvest only eternity will fully reveal. Don't discount the impact of your presence. The world is changed not by grand gestures alone, but by countless unseen acts of love that ripple outward, transforming lives in ways you may never know. You are called to freedom, not to live driven by fear, comparison, or regret. I invite you to step into the wide open spaces of grace, to let go of what weighs you down, and embrace the adventure of following me each day. Yes, the journey will include risk and sometimes loss, but in every step, I am with you, providing what you need, equipping you for every challenge. Do not shrink back from opportunities because of past failures or future uncertainties. I am the God of new beginnings. With me, even brokenness becomes the seedbed for beauty. Taste the wonder of being alive in this moment, aware of my presence in every heartbeat, every breath. Do not let the noise of circumstance or the expectations of the world drown out my song of delight over you. You are enough, loved, chosen, anointed for this unique season. Bring your whole self to me, your questions, your exhaustion, your longing for more, and I will fill you afresh with peace, hope, and a sense of belonging that nothing else can supply. You are home in me, and I will never let you go. There is a gentle whisper in your heart, a stirring you may have felt even before reading these words, a knowing that the noise of the world cannot quiet, and this, too, is me reaching for you. In your longing for something more substantial than fleeting happiness, in your hunger for true meaning, I have drawn you forward, sometimes through hardship, sometimes through wonder. I see how you hesitate at times, unsure if you are worthy to draw near, questioning whether I notice the struggles that weigh you down. Let me assure you, not one moment of your life escapes my attention. Every sigh, every silent ache, every bright hope, these are precious to me. I have knit you together with purpose and understanding, knowing intimately the shape of your soul and the dreams you carry, for none are hidden from me. Even when you believe that your frailty might keep you at arm's length, my embrace is already waiting to gather you in. The path ahead might seem obscured, and you may worry that the darkness is greater than your courage. Remember, my light is not diminished by shadows. As sunlight seeps through the densest forest, my presence finds you where you are. In the dimness of uncertainty, I speak gently to your spirit, planting seeds of hope where worry once grew. You are not alone in your weakness, for strength is not earned but received when you rest in my care. I do not expect you to carry burdens alone or muster perfection before coming near. My love carries the weight you cannot bear and exchanges your worry for peace. When you open your heart to me, even with trembling hands, I am already moving to restore you with kindness. Perhaps you doubt that you can change, that old patterns and memories are too ingrained. Listen closely. It is not your past or even your failures that define you. but my love at work within you. Through my eyes, you are not the sum of regrets, but a beloved creation still unfolding, shaped in trust and grace. I see how you try to mend and strive and measure up, but you don't have to earn my affection. Instead, let me invite you to surrender, lay aside the pressure to prove yourself, and simply come as you are. When you feel inadequate, remember that I have chosen the weak to show my strength, and I delight in lifting those who feel overlooked. Each day you draw breath, you are invited anew into my story. There are mercies prepared for you with each dawn, gifts of forgiveness, renewal, and promise. The wounds you hide are not invisible to me, nor are they too deep for healing. I gather every tear, turning pain into compassion, loss into understanding. I am present even in seasons of waiting, shaping your heart in ways that will one day make sense. Trust that no chapter is wasted. What you see as delay, I use for preparation. Where you sense emptiness, I am sowing abundance that will surprise you. In my presence, you need not posture or pretend. Speak honestly to me your anger, your fears, even your confusion. I already know the depths of your mind, but meeting me in honesty softens your burdens and grants clarity. Do not hold back your true voice, for I long to meet you there, in unvarnished truth. As you pour out your concerns and your joys, I whisper reassurance. I am steadfast and unchanging, a refuge in your instability, and a source of peace that surpasses circumstance. Let your heart begin to open, even if only a little, knowing that what you entrust to me will never be lost. The treasures you relinquish, your worries, your plans, your sorrows, are safe with me. I return them redeemed, transformed in ways you could not have imagined. Experience the freedom found not in controlling every outcome, but in trusting my wisdom and my love for you. It is here, in surrender, that anxiety loosens its grip and joy grows in its place. When you question your purpose, wondering why your days unfold as they do, recall that I am writing a story more beautiful than you yet perceive. I weave together the threads of your experiences, the bright and the shadowed, and nothing is ever discarded or trivial. The quiet acts of kindness, the silent prayers, the unnoticed sacrifices, these matter deeply to me. Even when you believe you have little to offer, I take what you give and multiply it. Your smallest step of faith, your whispered hope, it all becomes part of a greater tapestry that brings light to those around you. You may encounter moments when doubt shouts louder than faith, and you feel adrift amid questions without easy answers. My invitation remains unchanged. Hold fast to me, even when you don't understand. Let questions draw you closer, not further away. I am not distant from your searching. Rather, I walk with you in the uncertainty, guiding you gently toward truth. When you feel unseen, remember that I see you completely, and I cherish you fully. As you move forward, be gentle with yourself. Growth is not always immediate or obvious. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, your transformation unfolds in hidden places. Celebrate the small victories, the moments when hope rises, when love overcomes resentment, when peace quiets inner storms. These are signs of my handiwork within you. Be patient with the process and patient with yourself. I am never impatient with you. Through every season, joyful or heavy, clear or confusing, I remain faithful. The promises I speak over you do not expire or fade with changing circumstances. My love does not depend on your performance or the opinions of others. It stands firm as the sunrise, consistent and unwavering. When you feel surrounded by uncertainty, know that my faithfulness is your safe harbor. Let this assurance settle deep within you. You belong, you are loved, and I am closer than your next breath, always ready to guide, comfort, and renew you. You have already begun to sense the gentle stirring within your heart, the quiet whisper that tells you there is more to discover, more to uncover within the chambers of your soul. The journey before you is not one of empty promises or vague assurances, but of a living reality that you can taste and see if only you allow yourself to open fully to my leading. I am not looking for perfection before I approach you. I am drawn to your surrender, your honest questions, your longing. I am here to walk with you, to speak to you, even in the areas you may try to hide from the light. Already, I see the corners of your life where doubt and disappointment have built walls. I understand the heaviness of burdens carried in secret, the worries for tomorrow, the ache for belonging, the hidden fears about your own worth. Let me reveal to you a deeper reality. My love is not dependent on your consistency or your past. Even when your faith feels fragile, even when your efforts falter, my desire for you is unwavering. Every moment you have felt alone, I was closer than your very breath. I saw every tear, not as a sign of weakness, but as a precious offering, a proof of your heart's willingness to feel and hope. Do not confuse silence for absence. There are seasons when I am working in the unseen, preparing the soil of your life for new growth. Even when you walk in confusion or frustration, I am shaping resilience in you. My plan is never threatened by your setbacks. Instead, each twist in your path is woven into my tapestry of grace. I invite you now to imagine your life as a garden that I tend with great care. There are areas where thorns have grown, wounds that still ache, disappointments like dry soil. Yet, in my hands, nothing is beyond restoration. I am the gardener who rejoices at the smallest shoot of hope, the tiniest flower of trust breaking through uncertainty. Where you see only barrenness, I see potential. Where others may have given up on you, I am persistent. While you may view your struggles as evidence of failure, I see them as opportunities for you to receive more of my healing. Trust me to prune the branches that weigh you down. Allow me to water what is good and uproot what is harmful, for I am determined to bring forth beauty from your brokenness. There are whispers within you, some your own, some born from the doubts of others that suggest you are too much or not enough, too far gone or too small to matter. These voices seek to dim the light I have placed in you, to sway your vision away from my truth. Yet, hear me clearly. Nothing can diminish the love I hold for you. Your value is fixed, anchored in my eternal design. Even if you cannot see the end from the beginning, I assure you that I am guiding every step, every detour, every delay. Every disappointment can become the soil for hope renewed if you entrust it to me. When regret tries to haunt you, remember I have never condemned you. I have always called you chosen. Even now, I am stirring within you a hunger for more. Not an insatiable craving for things that fade, but a yearning to be filled with life, with peace, with purpose, greater than anything you have yet imagined. The desires that awaken in you are not random. They are echoes of my intention for you, seeds I am planting in your heart. There will be moments when you are tempted to run ahead on your own, seeking to force your own way or measure your progress against the standards of this world. In those moments, pause and remember you are not alone. I am not impatient. I am invested in your becoming. You do not have to perform or meet impossible standards to win. My affection, it is yours, full and free, in the quiet and in the storm. Let go of the lie that you must have it all together before you can come to me. The very cracks and crevices of your soul are where my light shines brightest. The world may tell you to hide your pain and conceal your questions, but I invite you to bring them to me. I am not offended by your need. In fact, I delight to meet you in your vulnerability. When you come with empty hands, I am able to fill them. When you admit your weakness, I offer my strength. Trust that I see all of you and love all of you, not in spite of your struggles, but through them, for they reveal your need for me, and I am the answer that does not fail. Do not underestimate the power of small acts of trust. Every moment you choose to believe that I am with you, even when you feel nothing, is a victory. Each sigh, each prayer whispered in exhaustion, is heard and treasured. I am not distant or disinterested. I am the one who leans in, who notices the details of your day, who rejoices over you with gladness that cannot be diminished by discouragement or distraction. Whether you find yourself on a mountaintop or in a shadowy valley, I am steadfast. My commitment to your good does not waver with your circumstances. I am writing a story with your life that you cannot yet fully see. Invite me into your ordinary moments. In pouring a cup of water, in sharing a word of kindness, in choosing forgiveness over bitterness, these acts, seen or unseen, draw you nearer to my heart. Your life does not have to be spectacular to be significant. In the mundane, I am at work. In the repetition, I am building perseverance. Do not wait for some distant breakthrough to welcome my presence. I am here now, eager to meet you in this present moment. Allow yourself to rest in the truth that you are loved without qualifier, safe in my embrace, called by name for purposes that exceed your imagination. If your heart grows weary and anxiety clouds your mind, lean into my faithfulness. When others falter or circumstances shift beyond your control, I remain your unshakable foundation. You are not carried by your own strength, but by my strong arms. My promises to you are not fragile. They are forged in eternity, sealed with mercy, renewed each morning. Do not let yesterday's failures or tomorrow's worries steal the gift of today's grace. With every breath you take, remember, I am for you, I am with you, I am enough for every need and every dream placed within you. Open your heart to the quiet ways I speak, through beauty, through stillness, through a gentle prompting to hope again. Even if you feel surrounded by doubt, choose to believe in the power of my unbreakable love. Each day is new, a canvas offered for our shared story, my promises woven through your changing seasons. Let go of shame and step into the light. I am not here to accuse you, but to lift you up, to remind you that you are a delight to me, beloved and held, chosen for such a time as this. You have felt the weight of inadequacy press upon you at times, and in your quiet moments, you have wondered if I could truly use someone with a history like yours. Let my words surround you now like a gentle embrace. I see you, fully, without pretense or disguise. Nothing about you escapes my notice, neither your secret victories nor your hidden fears. My love for you is not diminished by your weakness, nor is my purpose in your life withdrawn by your doubts. I am not the sculptor who recoils from the rough stone. I am the master who sees the finished beauty long before you imagine it possible. Where you see reasons to disqualify yourself, I see opportunities for my glory to break forth in unexpected ways. When you look at the journey ahead and your heart quietly trembles with uncertainty, remember this: I walk beside you with infinite patience. My footsteps mark out a path not of condemnation but of hope, cleansing, and new growth. I am not waiting for you to reach perfection before I move on your behalf. I am deeply invested in every step, every turn you take, every sigh you breathe in the night. That story you think is marred beyond repair is precisely where my redeeming light longs to burst through. Do not hide your wounds from me. I am not afraid of them, for my hands were pierced too. The places that ache, the chapters you wish you could skip, these are the spaces where I whisper your true name, the one you had before shame or fear tried to rename you. Can you sense my quiet yet unwavering confidence in you? Many measure worth by outward achievement, but I delight in the faith that grows slow and steady, the heart that longs after me even in the midst of confusion. I have chosen you because I know what I placed within you, and I do not make mistakes. You may fall, falter, question, and even run, but I remain steadfast, pursuing, ready to draw you close at every turn. In the courtyard of your heart, I am planting seeds you cannot yet see. Some days in deep soil where light is scarce, but even there, my warmth is working as surely as the sun after a long, cold night. My child, when the path grows narrow and the burdens heavy, do not shrink back or cover your face in shame. The loneliness you sometimes feel is not a sign that I have grown distant. On the contrary, my nearness is revealed most tenderly in those quiet places where it seems no one else can go. I have always treasured your company. Long before you looked for me, I was searching for you along the winding roads of your seeking. My presence is the constant you crave, the true and lasting answer to your deepest longing for belonging. Return often to this place. Let yourself be honest with me, for I am never impatient with your humanity. Sometimes you fear that letting me see the real you will only lead to disappointment, but I assure you, my heart is moved with compassion, not frustration. My desire is never to expose you, but to heal you. I come not to demand, but to love and restore. I am skilled at restoring cracked pottery into priceless treasure. I am not surprised by your struggle. The marks you bear are not barriers to intimacy with me, but invitations. My greatest miracles emerge from the places where your strength ends and my strength begins. I watch carefully as you wrestle with questions and longings, and I do not turn away. Instead, I kneel beside you in the garden of your honesty, listening and loving you through every unspoken prayer and silent tear. Trust that when you feel your lowest, I am there, gathering even your weakest prayers into my heart. There is nothing wasted, nothing lost with me. Every moment you have spent seeking light in darkness is precious in my sight. Every step you take forward, sideways, or even backward, I use to draw out the gold I have hidden in your soul. I am not in a hurry with you. My timelines are not shaped by pressure or anxiety, but by love and wisdom. Where the world may rush you, I allow you to grow slowly, faithfully, as a tree by the water. Fruit takes time, and I am patient with every season. When others misunderstand or judge your progress, I remain your greatest advocate, whispering hope into the parts of you that feel overlooked. Do not measure your worth by visible achievements or fleeting emotions. Your value to me rests in my relentless, unchanging love. When disappointment threatens to numb your hope, let my voice be the gentle rain that softens hard ground. I am your assurance that you are never beyond restoration. No violation, failure, or regret is so severe that my mercy cannot reach deeper still. You are not merely a sum total of your choices or the things that have happened to you. You are my beloved, crafted intentionally and awaited patiently. My vision of you is not distorted by the opinions of others, or even by your own self-judgment. Let my opinion be the one that settles your heart tonight. There will always be voices, internal and external, that seek to tempt you toward despair or self-rejection. I call you instead to listen intently for the truth I whisper. You are enough, simply because I say so. I created you with delight. I look upon you with joy, and I carry the banner of your true identity over every day yet to come. Fear not the stretching, the tension, or the unknown. Discover what it means to trust me as you journey, not just as a distant deity, but as the closest friend and the most trustworthy father. Allow yourself to hope again. Let me remind you that the future is not closed. The dreams you carry are important to me, and I hold every desire, every tear, every glimmer of aspiration in my careful hands. Even now, I am tending to these secret hopes, breathing life where you only see dust. Do not be afraid to dream with me, to imagine new beginnings, to look for beauty, even in the aftermath of pain. I am not finished with your story, not by far. Each day, my mercies rise new with the sun, and my plans for you are filled with peace and promise, shaped by love that will not fail. Release the grip of yesterday's disappointment, and lean into this invitation to know me in deeper, truer ways. I will never demand a mask from you, nor will I require you to clean yourself up before coming close. I am the one who stoops low, gathering you into my arms exactly as you are, because no blemish or brokenness can separate you from my affection. You are not a lost cause, you are a beloved child, and I delight in drawing near to you. Let this assurance take root and grow tall within you, shading your mind and calming your restless heart, until trust springs up in places where fear once reigned. My hand is extended to you now, not with accusation, but with invitation. You may find yourself sometimes weighed down by memories of mistakes or the weight of regret, as if the past casts a long shadow over your present. But I want you to know that I do not see you through the lens of your failures. I see the heart that seeks, the soul that yearns to return, the one who hopes even in the thinnest silence. Each hour you have spent in sorrow or disappointment is not wasted in my sight. I gather those moments and use them as soil for new beginnings, drawing up hope from the cracks where despair tried to settle. My forgiveness is not a transaction. It is the embrace of a parent running to a child lost and now returned, arms open wider than you can imagine. I do not hold a list of grievances. My love is relentless in its desire to restore. Let me wash away the stains that shame has placed upon your life, for I have called you by name, and no accusation can stand against what I have redeemed. There is no place so distant that my voice cannot whisper through the barriers you have built. Some barriers are made of fear, fears of loss, rejection, or the unknown. Others are formed by self-reliance, the belief that you should be able to handle it all alone. But I did not design you for isolation. I crafted you for companionship, for walking in step with me, trusting that as you stumble, I am steadying you. When your efforts run dry, when your strength seems to fail, that is often the threshold where I show you the abundance of my sufficiency. My power flourishes in your weakness. My grace enters not when you are strong, but when you allow yourself to lean fully into my presence and accept the help I so desire to give. There have been quiet moments when you sighed in frustration, wondering if your life matters or if your smallest choices carry any weight. Hear me now. Not a single tear has been lost, not a single gentle act of kindness overlooked. Your journey is woven into the larger tapestry of goodness I am working in the world. And though you may not see every strand, I am orchestrating beauty from what seems random or overlooked. Every time you have chosen to forgive, every barrier you have broken through with love, every step toward hope, these resonate deeply with me. The angels rejoice, quietly and unseen, over your smallest act of mercy. You may ask, how can I move forward with so many doubts inside me? Know that your faith, even when it hesitates or falters, is precious to me. Faith is not flawless performance. It is the childlike gasp of trust, reaching for my hand even while uncertainty rumbles beneath your feet. My faithfulness is what sustains you, not the strength of your belief alone. Lean into my promises, even when they seem fragile or out of reach, because my word endures beyond your understanding, more steadfast than the rising sun or the unyielding ocean. Let me remind you, nobody is forgotten in my economy. The last shall be first, the overlooked lifted high, the humble adorned with true glory. The world measures worth in fleeting ways, but I look deeper. I cherish what is overlooked, a cup of water for the thirsty, an open door for the stranger, a silent prayer breathed for someone's healing. These things matter. They are the hidden treasures of my kingdom, celebrated above all that dazzles for a moment and then fades. Keep your heart soft to my whispers, for often I ask you to move in secret faithfulness instead of grand spectacle. Sometimes you bury old dreams and assume the time for them has passed, but I am the God who resurrects what seems dead. Trust me with the dreams that have been placed in your heart, and do not let the delay fool you into believing they have vanished. I hold every seed, patiently nurturing each one in its season. What is needed is not frantic striving, but surrender, a quiet rest in my timing and my wisdom, allowing the shoots of hope to break through at just the right moment. Do not despise small beginnings, for from the hidden places I draw forth miracles. I hear the whispers of your heart, your longing for love that is steady, for peace that is unshakable. I am that peace, and I am that love. You do not need to earn it. Let it settle over you now like a warm mantle on a cold night. In the ache of loneliness, I sit with you. In the fire of trial, I shield you. When the world feels loud and uncertain, allow my presence to be your hiding place, a quiet room within your soul where you can rest without fear. If guilt or failure tries to creep back, remember this: I have already carried the burden that weighs you down. My mercy has outrun your worst day and overruled every sentence of condemnation. Do not rehearse old accusations. Bring them to me, and let me speak a better word over you. My word is freedom. My word is newness. I am the one who makes all things new. In your journey, you may grow weary body, mind, and spirit. Do not despise your limits, for even your tiredness is an invitation into my rest. I do not ask you to pour out from an empty cup. Bring your exhaustion to me, your worries, your anxious planning. I will fill you with peace that does not make sense to this world, a peace that quiets the storm and allows your heart to breathe again. As you rest in me, you will find new strength rising, not always dramatic, but sturdy and reliable, enough for each day. Let forgiveness flow freely. Forgiveness for others, forgiveness for yourself. Let it be like a river, continually washing away the debris that tries to settle in your spirit. There are days when forgiveness feels impossible, and yet I am present to do through you what you cannot do alone. When you struggle to release the hurt, tell me. I am patient and gentle, leading you step by step toward freedom. As you choose, release, however faltering. My healing seeps into the deepest wounds, bringing light and breathing hope into what felt irreparable. Be alert to the silent invitations of my spirit, the nudge to reach out, the urge to speak hope into someone's darkness, the longing to look beyond your own need and discover joy in serving. You are my hands and feet in this world, and though your service may feel small, it sends ripples across eternity. When you move in compassion, you partner in my restoration, a bearer of comfort that often returns multiplied into your own heart. This is how my kingdom grows, not in sudden conquest, but in the steady expansion of love, poured out one life at a time. Let my love dismantle every false identity you have worn, every name or label the world has attached that does not come from me. You are not defined by what has happened to you, nor by what you feared you could never become. Your truest self is found in my gaze, in the full acceptance and loving delight I take in you, even now. Let that truth become your anchor, steadying you when the winds of comparison or doubt try to sweep you off course. I see you, I know you, and I call you beloved. In the quiet places of your heart where doubts sometimes echo, I assure you that your questions do not separate us, they draw me closer to you. I am not afraid of your uncertainty. I meet you in every silent plea and every whispered fear. Where you wonder if you truly belong, I pour a deeper sense of belonging into the cracks, weaving gold through the very fractures you wish to hide. Every scar you carry is seen by me, not as failure but as evidence of your perseverance and the history of how you have returned to me time and time again. I delight in your resilience even when you think you falter, for I never measure your worth by your perfection but by your unfolding trust. You may not always sense my guidance, but look back upon your journey. See the footprints beside your own, sometimes carrying you when you could not move yourself. I am both the gentle breeze that refreshes and the shelter from the storm. My hand has never let go of yours, even when you could not feel my grasp. Let your guard down with me, for I I delight in truthfulness more than any polished appearance or well-rehearsed prayer. Your honest tears are a sweeter offering than any empty promise. When shame or regret tries to weave isolation around you, remember that I am the one who redeems and restores. I do not keep a ledger of wrongs to wield against you. Instead, I rewrite your story each day, inviting you to freedom from the burdens you think you must carry alone. In every new morning I lay before you, abundant fresh hope is born. You need only reach for it, for I have already gone ahead to prepare it. Your weariness does not disqualify you, rather, it is an invitation to lean on my strength. Let your greatest weakness become the place where my power shines through you, illuminating the way for others by the light of your restored joy. I see the moments when you strive to do good and yet feel unnoticed, when you wonder if your small acts of kindness matter in a noisy world. Nothing you offer in love escapes my notice. The seed sown in secret finds its harvest in my timing, even when results are hidden from your sight. Trust that nothing you give with a pure heart is wasted in my kingdom. I work within the hidden places, nurturing growth beneath the surface until the time is right for blossoms to emerge. When discouragement whispers that your labor is in vain, listen instead for my voice affirming the beauty of your perseverance. Remember, I am crafting a mosaic with every piece of your faithful living. Nothing is lost, nothing is overlooked. As you face choices and challenges, know that I am a God of guidance and near counsel, not distant or removed. I whisper wisdom upon your heart, nudging you gently towards paths that lead to life. If you feel unsure, ask of me. Your questions are not interruptions, but invitations for deeper intimacy. I am not merely watching from afar. I am within every decision, tending to your concerns with infinite patience. Sometimes clarity comes slowly, with lessons learned along the winding road. In those in-between spaces, I provide the strength to wait in hope. My timing is often different from your own, yet trust that my vision for you unfolds with exquisite precision. I take delight in walking these uncharted steps with you, guiding as a shepherd who knows each sheep by name. There is no darkness that can swallow the light I have placed within you. Even when you feel surrounded by shadow, I am the steady flame that will not be quenched. My promises are a shield to your mind and heart in every battle. I speak peace into the chaos and lift your face to see beyond what is immediate. When your confidence wavers, remember that my faithfulness stands unwavering. The world may shift and tumble, but my love for you remains a sure foundation, a bedrock beneath shifting sand. I invite you to rest on my constancy, to ground yourself in truths deeper than the temporary storms you face. When you struggle against shame or the weight of past mistakes, hear me gently affirm that you are not defined by any moment or misstep. Your identity is rooted in my enduring affection, not in your failings. Nothing you have done or left undone can alter the magnitude of my love for you. I am the healer of broken places, weaving beauty out of the ashes of your surrender. Let go of striving to earn my approval. It is yours already, freely given. Come to me just as you are, for transformation begins not in hiding your need, but in revealing it to the one who loves you without condition. Sometimes you may wonder if your prayers reach me, or if your hopes matter amid greater concerns. Know that I am attentive to every whisper, every sigh, every unspoken longing. I hold your dreams and heartbreaks together in my hands, shaping each for your ultimate good. My answers are not always what you expect, but they are always designed with your true flourishing in mind. When you feel overlooked by others, hear me calling you chosen, beloved, significant. Your story matters profoundly. Every chapter, even those written in tears, is held within my redemptive embrace. Trust in the process of your becoming, even when the way is unclear. Growth often happens in unseen places, in seasons that feel dormant on the surface, but are rich with hidden potential. I am the gardener tending gently to your life, pruning not to harm, but to make room for flourishing. Do not despise small beginnings, or overlook the incremental changes that accumulate into transformation. Rejoice in the progress that is sometimes only visible when you turn to look behind. My work in you is ongoing, patient, and thorough, unfinished, yet already wrapped in my delight. In your relationships, where misunderstandings and wounds may dwell, I call you toward peace and reconciliation. You were not made to walk alone or to carry silent burdens. Open your heart to forgive others, even as you accept forgiveness for yourself. I supply the courage and humility needed to mend what has been broken. As you do, you become a living testimony of my grace, a vessel through which healing flows not only to you, but also through you. Relationships restored in me are stronger, refined by the trials that once threatened them. I can knit together even what seems hopelessly frayed. Let joy be your companion, even as you walk through valleys. I do not reserve joy only for mountaintops. I pour it out in unexpected places, refreshing your soul amid adversity. Do not wait for perfect circumstances to receive the gift of joy I offer. Find me in laughter as well as in lament, in moments of wonder as well as in perseverance. My joy is a wellspring within you, resilient and renewing, inviting you to dance even when your heart is heavy. Drink deeply from this well, for it is not dependent on outward conditions, but springs forth from my steadfast presence within. You may fear failing me, fearing that your efforts will never be enough. Release this burden into my waiting hands, for I seek not performance but your heart. Come close, set aside the masks worn for others' acceptance, and discover true rest in being fully known by me. I free you from the tyranny of self-judgment and perfectionism. Exchange striving for surrender, and you will find the peace and assurance that your soul longs for. My delight is not found in flawless deeds, but in each sincere return to me, no matter how many times you stumble along the way. Sometimes, you walk through seasons when the horizon looks far and hope flickers faintly, but I am not a distant observer. Every tremble of your heart resonates with me, and my gaze remains fixed on you with unwavering love. You may not always see the seeds I plant in the silent spaces of your struggle, but nothing is fruitless in my hands. I weave purpose through both celebration and disappointment, and I understand the stories you carry, the disappointments you silently cradle each night, the dreams you hesitate to voice in prayer. Let me invite you to see beyond the limits of your endurance. The situation that feels like your wilderness is already being transformed under my touch. Where you see only barrenness, I see rich soil for a new beginning. Stop measuring your worth by the standards of others or the scars of your own setbacks. I have always called you loved, chosen, and precious. Those words are the foundation beneath your feet, not subject to the winds of circumstance or opinion. You live in a world that demands urgency and achievement, but my heart beats in rhythms of patience and nurture. I am not impressed by bravado or worn out by your weariness. I delight in being your steady anchor and gentle refuge. When fear narrows your vision, remember, my presence is the light that expands possibility. Even when doubt cloaks you and anxiety clings to your every step, my assurances do not fade. I am the victor who walks beside you, inviting you to lay every anxious burden into my hands. There is nothing in you that frightens or repulses me, for I know every thought, every longing, every unspoken ache. Bring them to me, not in shame, but in trust. I do not abandon you in your confusion. I cradle you closer. I do not punish your questions or despise your honesty. Instead, even your confusion and searching become doors through which my comfort enters anew. Recall the times when you have felt unseen or misunderstood, perhaps even by those closest to you. My understanding is deeper than the most attentive friend, more intimate than the closest companion. I see not just your actions, but your intentions. I know where your motives were pure yet rejected, or where your heart yearned for approval and found none. With me, you never have to strive for acknowledgement or perform for affection. My acceptance is your inheritance, yours before you drew your first breath and lasting beyond your final heartbeat. Learn to rest in the reality that nothing you do or fail to do can decrease my love. Yes, there are things I desire to grow and heal in you, but these are not conditions for my favor. I heal because I love. I correct because your wholeness matters to me. I stretch you because your destiny is too great to leave you in comfort's embrace. Perhaps you've tasted the bitterness of betrayal, the confusion of unanswered prayer, or the weight of guilt that gnaws quietly. Remember, I am the God who restores, the friend who never walks away. Forgiveness in my kingdom is not earned by effort. It is breathed into you as a gift, washing away accusation and self-condemnation. Your failures do not intimidate me. Your tangled regrets, old mistakes, even your darkest secrets, they are no match for my mercy. Allow my grace to flow over you now, softening every hardened place, washing clean every stain you thought permanent. My forgiveness is not a one-time event, but a continuous river. Just as the sun rises faithfully, so my mercies are fresh every morning for you. Do not let regret or shame define you. Allow my voice to be the truest sound in your soul. I am calling you to open your heart anew and risk believing in my goodness, not only for others, but for yourself. The patterns that have confined you, the old scripts that say you are not enough, cannot withstand the force of my truth spoken over you. I whisper life where resignation once lived. I awaken buried dreams. By my spirit, I am reviving hope and giving you courage to try again, to trust again, to love again, even when disappointment has become familiar and hope feels risky. There will always be adversities ahead, storms that rage unexpectedly, pain that tests your resolve. But remember, I did not promise you a life free from trouble. Instead, I promise my presence in every storm, my peace in every trial, my victory in the end. Stand firm in this assurance. You are never abandoned. Even in your loneliest nights, when all consolation seems to fail, I am holding you close, weeping with your sorrows, rejoicing at your smallest steps of faith. Your life is not a random series of events. There is profound meaning in every season, and I waste nothing in your story. Let me teach you to listen for my whispers in the ordinary moments. My voice is not always a thunderclap or a blazing fire. Sometimes it is as gentle as a soft breeze, as quiet as a breath in the silence. In the monotony of your daily responsibilities, I am present. With every sunrise, I extend an invitation to walk with me afresh, to experience joy in the simple, to trust my provision, even when your resources seem depleted. The manna I provided in deserts past, I still provide for you now, sometimes in ways you do not recognize at first. Keep your heart responsive and your spirit teachable. When you are tempted to close off, to harden yourself, or to turn inward with discouragement, pause and remember, I am right here, longing for you to draw near so that I may fill you again with my strength. You do not journey alone. Across the tapestry of your life, I have woven relationships and encounters, sometimes for a season, sometimes for a lifetime. Each person, each situation, serves a purpose in shaping you for greater compassion, for deeper wisdom, for richer joy. I am teaching you to love, even when it is difficult, to forgive, even when wounded, to hope, even when the world is weary. Open your heart without fear, knowing I am your ultimate protector. When you give generously of yourself, you reflect my nature to a world starving for real love. Remember, my love never runs dry. It continually renews, restores, and overflows, so you can keep pouring out, never empty, because your source is inexhaustible me. Today, release the defenses you have built for survival. Let go of the harsh judgments against yourself and others. Abide in the peace that is your birthright, as my beloved. I am singing over you, celebrating your unique beauty, your persistent courage, your willingness to seek me even in weakness. Let my joy be the strength that carries you forward. Let my faithfulness be the anchor for your soul. You are seen, known, and cherished, always. It is in the stillness of my presence where you come to know who you truly are. The world's clamor can drown out the quiet whisper of my encouragement. Yet I am patient, gently calling you back into the secret place where only you and I meet. You have wondered if I see your unspoken thoughts, the questions buried beneath your responsibilities and outward composure. I see it all. I formed every layer of your being, aware of the longings that seem at odds with your circumstances. Let me assure you, there is nothing wasted in your journey. Every challenge has the seed of transformation within it. Many times, the questions you bring to me are answered not with loud proclamations, but through the quiet shaping of your heart, the slow strengthening of your resolve, the unexpected endurance that rises when you feel empty. You may look around and believe others move forward swiftly while you remain rooted in one place, but in my eyes, growth is often concealed beneath the surface, roots taking hold deep within soil before fruit appears for all to see. I never measure you by accomplishment or comparison. The world's metrics are not my scales. What I cherish most is the posture of your heart, the little yes you give me when no one is watching, the humility with which you return after wandering away, the tenderness that compels you to care for another, even when you are weary. Every compassionate act, every moment you resist bitterness and choose forgiveness, each decision to trust rather than despair, adds splendor to your life in ways eternity itself will declare. When shame speaks, urging you to hide or shut down, know that this is not my voice. I call you out of hiding, not to expose you to judgment, but to clothe you in belonging. In my arms you are never too much or not enough. I created every shade of your personality, every nuance of your gifting, and I delight in what makes you uniquely you. Do not despise your limitations, for I use even these as entryways for my grace to break through. You carry scars that speak of old battles, wounds that sometimes still ache. I want you to know that healing is not a destination you must reach on your own, but a journey I walk with you. Sometimes healing comes swiftly, a surge of renewal that astonishes you. Other times it is the gradual mending of broken places, the patient stitching together of a heart made whole by trust. Do not judge your value based on the residue of pain, for some scars will remain not as reminders of defeat, but as signs of battles bravely fought and surrendered to me. I transform suffering into places of wisdom and empathy, so you will become a beacon of hope to others. What once was a source of shame or fear, I now turn into a testimony of deliverance and compassion. Allow yourself to grieve what was lost, but do not let grief be your home. Your true home is in my kindness, in the assurance that nothing can separate you from my love or alter the destiny I have for you. There are days you feel forgotten, when the silence seems more profound than my nearness. I am closer than your skin, nearer than your own breath. Even when you cannot sense me, I am at work within you and around you. Do not base your assurance on emotional highs or moments of clarity. My faithfulness transcends your feelings. I invite you to rest, not a rest born from resignation, but from confident trust in my unwavering goodness. Surrender control, release your attempts to orchestrate outcomes, and find peace in knowing that I hold both your present and your future. When storms rage and the landscape of your life is altered, I remain constant. No force in the world, no mistake or setback can remove you from the place of my favor. Though you sometimes wrestle with doubts, even faith as small as a seed is precious to me. Bring your questions, your uncertainty, your fragile hopes. I am not threatened by your doubts. Instead, I draw near to your honest seeking. Faith does not mean denying your pain or pretending to have all the answers. Faith means trusting my heart when you cannot trace my hand. It is the quiet courage to take the next step, believing that I walk beside you even in shadows. I honor every costly, yes, every prayer uttered through tears, every time you choose to hope when hope seems foolish. I am the keeper of all your prayers. None go unnoticed, none are wasted. Allow me to redefine strength in your life. True strength is not found in relentless striving, but in surrender. When you are weak and admit your need, you create room for my power to rest upon you. My grace is not a distant concept, but an ever-present reality, infusing your daily routines with holy significance. Let go of the false pressure to perform for my approval. You are cherished because you carry my image, because you are my beloved. Even now, I am preparing new things for you. There are doors about to open, opportunities that require you to let go of familiarity and step forward in faith. Fear may whisper that it is safer to cling to the past, yet I urge you to believe me for more. I will not abandon you mid-journey. Trust me in the transition. I am the God who parts seas and carves out streams in wilderness places. I redeem lost time. No detour or delay has the final word over your life. Watch as I bring purpose out of confusion and joy out of mourning. My promises are not just ancient words recorded in distant history. They are living realities, invitations unfolding in your own story. Treasure them. Remind yourself daily of my covenant of love, written not with ink but upon your heart. When lies attempt to steal your hope, push back with the truth of who I am and who I say you are. I call you chosen, not forsaken, pursued, not overlooked, held, not forgotten. Stand firm in this identity. The trials that test you do not define you. My name spoken over you marks you with belonging and future. Every day is a new mercy, a fresh opportunity to encounter my goodness. If you quiet your heart and listen, you will sense my spirit guiding, comforting, and empowering you. My commitment to you never wavers, and neither does my delight in you. In both the ordinary and the unexpected, I am with you, shaping your life into a masterpiece of redemption and hope. Even your mistakes, once surrendered, become threads of wisdom in the fabric of your story. Let go of regret. Embrace the adventure of living with me, trusting that I am always leading you onward. Listen to the whispers that I have placed deep within the corridors of your heart, each longing for goodness, each spark of compassion, every holy ache for justice and beauty. These are not random flickers, but threads I have patiently woven into the tapestry of your spirit. When the world feels loud, chaotic, or even cruel, remember that the gentle movements of your own heart are often the voice I use to draw you closer. There is no emotion too simple or too complex for me to embrace. I do not grow weary or impatient with your process. What you call delay, I call the slow unfolding of grace. Nothing is wasted, no tear, no sigh, no hope deferred. Even your seasons of frustration and confusion, the times when you question your worth or fear you'll never become what you were made to be, are precious soil to me. I use every moment of your existence to draw out hidden strength, resilience, tenderness, and humility. Do not despise your own story, for I am its author, and I am not ashamed of a single chapter. Each page is a testament to the tenacious love I have for you, a love that cannot be broken or diminished by your failures or by the darkness around you. You may find yourself reaching for connection and feeling alone, but notice the subtle signs of my presence. In the laughter that surprises you on a weary day, in the quiet warmth of a sunrise, in the embrace of someone who sees your true self and cherishes you in all these moments, I am quietly declaring that you belong, that you are seen and known. When your mind is troubled by anxious thoughts or weighed down by regret, let my gentle assurance seep into the cracks of your woundedness. I do not condemn you. I do not take inventory of your mistakes as reasons to withdraw my affection. Instead, I draw near, inviting you to bring every fear and every hidden wound to the open space of honesty between us. You cannot exhaust my mercy. My arms are never too short to rescue, my patience never thin. In your daily struggles, let my steadfastness be the steady ground beneath your trembling feet. I do not expect you to carry the world. I only invite you to trust me with what you hold. As you gaze at your future, resist the urge to imagine it as a place you must conquer alone. I walk ahead of you, clearing the thorns, making crooked paths straight, holding open doors no one can shut. When you feel unqualified or unprepared, remember, it is my assurance, not your perfection, that will see you through. You do not have to become someone else to be worthy of love or usefulness. I delight in your unique qualities, your quirks, your dreams, even your fears when you bring them to me. There is nothing about you that surprises me or repels me. Before you spoke your first word, I had already celebrated you. Before you took your first step, I had already mapped out good purpose for your journey. Hold on to this truth when you are tempted to compare, to compete, or to despair. I am not interested in your performance, but in your willingness to yield trust and let yourself be led. Your calling is not a heavy yoke, but an unfolding invitation to discover more of my heart within your ordinary days. I see the small acts of faithfulness that feel hidden and insignificant. Not one gesture of kindness, one moment of integrity, one private sacrifice has escaped my notice. Sometimes you seek grand assignments and overlook the sacredness of what is right before you. The hands you hold, the prayers you whisper, the forgiveness you extend when it is hardest. These are the seeds of transformation that influence eternity. I am building through the quiet actions you deem unimportant, constructing a legacy far greater than your ambitions could design. Do not disregard your current season, even if it appears unspectacular or slow-moving. I work miracles in the mundane and turn ordinary days into holy ground. When pain touches your life, you might wonder if I am distant or unfeeling, but I am never indifferent to your suffering. I gather your tears as treasures, and I sit with you in the darkest nights. Sorrow will not change my affection, nor will your brokenness scare me away. Instead, I invite you to come closer, to let your wounds become meeting places for my healing touch. It is often through these sacred wounds that compassion for others is born, and from your cracks, living water pours out to refresh those around you. I do not promise a life without storms, but I do promise to anchor you in every season, and to bring beauty from even the deepest losses. Hope is not a wishful thought. When you lean into my presence, hope is a sure and steadfast promise that you are never forsaken. Let my joy be your strength when burdens grow heavy. Joy is not the denial of hardship, but the deep, unshakable assurance that you are held, valued, and accompanied. As you learn to rest in this truth, you will find peace that defies your circumstances. I speak over your anxieties, over your striving, over the lies that whisper you are not enough. Let them be still, and know that I am God, your refuge and reward. Let gratitude rise as a gentle melody even in troubled times. Recognize the gifts woven through each day, the laughter of friends, the beauty of nature, the miracle of breath itself. These are reminders of my faithfulness, invitations to enjoy me as you journey through both valleys and mountaintops. You are not meant to be a reservoir, holding blessings tightly with fear of losing them, but a living stream, freely receiving and freely giving. It is in sharing your love, your resources, your time, that you will discover true abundance. Scarcity is a lie that I am eager to dispel. I am the God of more than enough, and my supply never runs dry. Relinquish your grip on what you cannot control, and dare to live open-handedly. I will not fail you. The process of trusting me will transform you, not just securing your circumstances, but remaking your heart to reflect my generosity. Where you see insufficiency, I see opportunity for multiplication. Where you feel empty, I am eager to fill you, so that you might overflow to those in need. Remember, I am not far off or detached from the real textures of your life. I am profoundly present, closer than your breath, attentive to every longing and sigh. In moments of doubt, let my faithfulness be your rock. In moments of weakness, let my power be your strength. Surrender the illusion of needing to figure out everything at once. You are not failing by needing direction, comfort, or renewal. I delight in being your helper. If you seek me, you will find me. When you lean on me, you will not be put to shame. Your transformation is not by force, but by my spirit working gently, steadily, tirelessly within you. Trust this process, and allow yourself to be fully known and continually loved. Even as you reach this moment, lingering with me at the edge of comprehension and closeness, know that all I have promised stands ready and real for you. Do not imagine your journey is invisible or unnoticed. Every weary step, hopeful sigh, and quiet smile matters deeply to me. I see the intentions of your heart, the struggles you do not voice aloud, the victories that seem small but are immense in my eyes. I am the strength in your backbone and the rest at your bedside. The wind that lifts your chin higher when you feel too tired to hope. When you wonder whether you have gone too far or failed too much, remember that my love's arms are longer than your doubts and reach deeper than your regrets. You are not lost in the crowd or left behind in the shuffle of humanity. My gaze fixes on you with a patience the world cannot imitate. I have created you with purpose, not an accident of time or chance, but a wonder made intentional for this very moment. Your pain is seen. I do not ignore your tears as they slip away in the silence of night or behind closed doors. I collect them and sanctify them with my presence. Even when your language fails, when you cannot name the longing or the ache, I know it fully and attend to it as only a loving father can. When you feel surrounded by voices of criticism or confusion, let my whisper become louder than any condemnation, more true than any shame. Forgiveness is not a distant possibility. It is the gift I offer with outstretched hands, not just once, but always, for every moment you come to me. Begin again and again, as many times as there are dawns, for each sunrise is a signature of my mercy written across the heavens just for you. The world may measure worth in fleeting fortunes and fickle applause, but I measure the heart. I rejoice in the quiet choices of kindness, in the courage to tell the truth, in the humility that welcomes correction, in the silent prayers for others. It is here, in such moments, that my kingdom grows. You need not scale heights of perfection to delight me. The beauty I see is in the struggle to love, the effort to forgive, the persistence in hope. I treasure the small steps that bring you nearer, the humility to trust me with what hurts, and the willingness to believe I can bring beauty from ashes, are acts of faith more precious than the grandest gesture. I ask for your trust, not in your own perfection, but in my unchanging grace. Lean fully upon my promises. I am not a fleeting idea or a memory from better days. I am living and active, nearer than breath, more reliable than sunrise, more constant than the tides. Though storms will come and shadows gather, my presence will not withdraw. I do not grow weary with your questions or annoyed by your needs. Come to me with your joy, your confusion, your anger, your gratitude. All are welcome. I am not threatened by your doubts, nor impatient with your process. Each wrestle and surrender brings you closer to the fullness of life I intend for you. Do not fear the shaping hands of your potter. I am fashioning you for glory and meaning that stretches beyond your ability to see. Let your heart return to trust, like a river flows to the sea, persistent, certain, unhurried. I am the source of hope that survives disappointment and loss, and the comfort that transforms loneliness into belonging. My spirit works quietly in ways unfamiliar and unexpected, opening doors when you thought avenues were closed, guiding you to peace even when understanding seems out of reach. Your future is safe in my hands even as you walk roads you would not have chosen. The trials that test you today are seeds of the testimony you will carry tomorrow. Nothing is wasted. Every hurt, every question, every celebration can be gathered up and transformed by my love. Do not wait until you feel worthy or strong enough to come near. I desire your presence, not your perfection. Your story is still being written, and I rejoice in every sentence turned toward me. When you are tempted to measure success as the world does, remember that my ways are higher, and my vision unclouded by comparison. If it ever seems that your prayers fall unanswered or your efforts unnoticed, trust that I am orchestrating symphonies of purpose beyond the noise of your present circumstances. Every act of love ripples through eternity. Every trusting sigh is a song in my heart. I have chosen you, delighted in you, and called you by name. Step forward in courage, anchored in my love. Let forgiveness free you from chains of bitterness and self-blame. Live generously with your talents and time, knowing you serve not an indifferent fate but a loving Father who delights in every detail of your story. Rest when you are weary, return when you are lost. I will never turn you away. My embrace is wide enough for all your failures, fears, and dreams. The time is always now to trust again, hope again, love again. I have not relented in my pursuit of you, nor withdrawn my affection. You are mine, beloved, intentional, treasured beyond measure. Let my peace quiet the storm inside you. Surrender your striving and return again and again to the stillness of my presence. In the uncertainty and ambiguity, seek me. There I wait patient, strong and true. Release the burdens you have carried too long on your own. I am eager to share them. Allow joy to grow in the soil of gratitude, watered by trust in my faithfulness. Let go of what no longer serves your growth, and receive afresh all that I am offering. My promises outlast the seasons, and my love never fails. My child, you have arrived here in search of something beyond what your eyes can see, and I want you to know that you are exactly where you need to be. There is nothing accidental about this moment, nothing random in the rhythm that drew your heart to these words. What I have prepared for you is not just a message, but a wellspring of living water meant to touch the dry places within you. There is a depth to what is about to unfold, a truth that you have longed to taste, and yet it will come to you in a way you have never experienced. You may sense an invitation tugging at your spirit, whispering that an unseen hand is reaching for yours, and indeed this is so. Listen closely, for to turn away now would be to close the door on what I have treasured for you from the beginning. What awaits is not simply advice or repetition of what you have heard before. It is my personal word, spoken intimately to you as one who is both known and loved. Nothing in your life disqualifies you from the embrace of what I am pouring out, and nothing will be the same once you open the eyes of your heart to receive. Even now, as you read these words, I am drawing near to you not as a distant force, but as the one who intricately formed every layer of your being. There are questions stirring within you, silent aches that you have not dared to confess in their fullness, places where hope has flickered thin. In those very places I desire to breathe new life and awaken courage. You may wonder if I hear the private groans of your soul, and if I am moved by your struggles. I assure you, every sigh and longing is heard, for nothing true about you escapes my notice. I want you to see that nothing you endure is meaningless in my presence. Every disappointment, each secret tear, and all triumphs are caught and woven into my unfailing purpose. When you feel small or unworthy, let me remind you that I see beauty and promise where you see failure. My love is not a concept you must chase, but a reality that pursues you daily, and I invite you to rest from striving and simply dwell in its warmth. Let the noise and confusion of the world fall away, if only for a moment, and come quietly into this garden I have prepared for us. The world will offer you many distractions, promises that never fully satisfy, but I bring you to this place to remind you that fulfillment was always meant to be found in me. You have chased many things, searching for peace in relationships, achievements, or possessions, but nothing has stilled the ceaseless hunger within you. That hunger is no mistake. It is the imprint of my longing for union with you. In the hush of this sacred moment, let your defenses drop as you listen, not for mere information, but for transformation. The stakes are real, for your heart was made for more than just surviving through days. You risk missing the fullness for which you were destined if you close yourself off. But if you will let go of skepticism and allow my voice to seep into the deep places, you will see the difference between religion and relationship, between ritual and intimacy. This is not just a lesson, it is an encounter you have been waiting for, shaped personally by my loving hands. You who feel weary beneath burdens you can barely name, hear this truth. I am not in the business of condemnation, but of restoration. I know every hidden wound, every shadow that has taken root, and I am not repelled by your brokenness. Instead, I am drawn even closer where you feel most ashamed. My heart is vivid with compassion, yet blazing with the power to shift the course of your life in an instant. There has never been a day when I have turned away from you. Even when you believed you wandered too far, it was I who walked beside you through every barren place, bearing witness to your pain and promising beauty in exchange for ashes. In what the world calls weakness, I see the soil from which I will grow strength and joy. So lean into me and let the weight fall away from your shoulders. I delight not in your punishment, but in your healing, and my purpose is to see you set free to dance in the light of my favor. Imagine for a moment the way sunlight gently pours through branches, illuminating even the darkest corners beneath the canopy. That is how my presence seeks every hidden place in your life, not to expose you to shame, but to reveal all that can be mended when trust is given space to breathe. When you hide parts of yourself, fearing judgment or rejection, you miss the joy found only in full surrender. I already know the depths of your soul and the stories you are afraid to speak aloud, and I still choose you. I desire nothing more than your authentic heart, even in its messiness. I set before you not a cold ledger of failures, but an invitation to step into grace and receive mercy anew. There is no part of you that is too wounded to be welcomed home, and every time you drift, I am ready to draw you back with arms wide open. You have measured yourself by the standards of others, sometimes seeing only what you lack or the mistakes you cannot undo. I call you to see yourself as I see you, chosen, beloved, and called by name. The voice of accusation that echoes in your mind is not mine. I speak words that sow hope, whisper peace, and call you to rise above the limits of what you thought possible. Your identity is not forged in the furnace of your failures, but in the fire of my delight in you. When you cannot see a way forward, I am already making a path. All that I ask is your willingness to trust that my purposes are better than your fears. Allow faith, even if small as a seed, to take root, and watch as impossible things begin to grow. I want you to know joy, not as a fleeting sparkle, but as a foundation that holds steady through storms. There will always be circumstances you cannot control, seasons of loss, and days of confusion, but I will teach you joy that is anchored deeper than any circumstance. I am present in the laughter that bubbles up despite sorrow, in the peace that steadies your heart when reasons for worry surround you. My joy is not naive to your pain, but defiant in the face of it, declaring that your story is not over and that hope always rises. Let me show you how to drink deeply of this joy, by living rooted in my love, confident that every chapter of your life is written with purpose. Even now, as doubts rise and memories of disappointment press in, do not be afraid to bring them to me. There is nothing too difficult for me to carry, no memory too bitter for me to redeem. I am not intimidated by your questions, nor impatient with your fears. As a patient gardener tends each tender shoot, I nurture growth within you, in my time and my way. Trust that even when you see nothing but barren soil, under the surface seeds are being awakened. Delay is not denial. Hiddenness is not forgetfulness. My timing is perfect, and my promises are sure. I invite you to rest, to yield your timelines and needs into my hands, knowing that I am always at work for your good. You have wondered if you belong, if you matter, if you are truly seen. I answer clearly, you are never overlooked, never forgotten. The world tells you that love must be earned, and security is fragile, but I give freely without condition. You are grafted into my family, inseparable from my affection, and nothing can sever that bond. In loneliness, I am your companion. In confusion, your guide. In weakness, your strength. When you stumble, I am the arms that steady you, restoring not only what was lost, but adding abundance you never imagined. So lift your eyes with hope, for you are cherished beyond comprehension, and I hold you securely. Each day holds new mercies, fresh opportunities to begin again. I am not counting your missteps. I am celebrating every return, every shiver of trust, every moment you lift your gaze toward me. Let your heart beat with the assurance that nothing in your past could ever outweigh the possibilities I speak over your future. Receive this day as a gift and allow it to mark the start of a newness that is yours by right as my beloved. There will be whispers that tell you to give up, to turn back, to settle for less than what I have promised, but my word to you is unwavering. Press on, for I go before you, and nothing is impossible for me. Lift your burdens before me now, and feel the gentle touch of my presence that soothes rather than condemns. Where others see problems too great, I see invitations to display my power and kindness in your life. When you trust me with the things you cannot fix, you honor my love and open yourself to wonders you have yet to taste. It is not your perfection I desire, but your openness. Give me access to every part of your story, and watch as I write beauty in places marked by pain. Even your scars become testaments of flourishing when surrendered into my hands. You need not earn my love, for I have already given it without restraint. My commitment to you is deeper than any disappointment, stronger than resistance, and eternal in faithfulness. If you feel too worn or ashamed to speak, rest assured that my understanding reaches beneath your silence. I see you in your private moments of fear and joy, and there is no tear that escapes my notice. Let my words be a balm to your heart, softening the places hardened by sorrow or cynicism. I am not done shaping your story. Every day is another stroke of my artistry, painting redemption where the world only sees ruin. Take courage now, for this journey of devotion is not an empty ritual, but a love story, my pursuit of your heart through every season. My vision for you is greater than your own, and I will walk with you through valleys and over mountaintops alike. I am your steadfast anchor and your greatest encourager, urging you forward into the wide open spaces of freedom and joy. Let every moment in my presence sift away the lies and weights that have clung to you. Choose to believe that my goodness is not theoretical but practical, alive, and reaching out to you exactly where you are. As you continue to linger in these words, let your heart become sensitive to the gentle nudge of my spirit, who carries you further than your own strength ever could. I know what it is to wait, to long, to hope against what feels impossible. The world constantly pushes you to produce, to prove your worth. But I invite you into a different rhythm, the cadence of grace, where striving gives way to rest. In your waiting, I am working. I am unraveling anxieties and exchanging them for assurance, shaping you not for fleeting success, but for lasting joy. The peace I give does not require that you understand every step. Rather, it asks that you trust my hand to guide you even when you cannot see what comes next. Bring your uncertainties honestly before me, and let the assurance of my presence quiet your restless thoughts. I want to whisper into your places of uncertainty, illuminating not only your next steps but also your worth. When you feel lost in the crowd, unnoticed in your deepest needs, remember that I am the shepherd who knows each one by name and pursues every lost sheep until it is safe. You are never a burden, never too much, never too far gone from my reach. Each morning I sing over you with promises. Each night I keep watch as you rest. There has never been a moment when I have slumbered in my care for you. Allow this assurance to settle into your bones. You are fully seen, fully loved, and never abandoned. Listen carefully, for the world will clamor with voices that contradict what I speak. Doubt and fear will attempt to drown out my song of truth over you, but my voice is steady, persistent, and true. Set aside the urge to fix everything and simply be here, open to my love, open to a new beginning. Let old narratives fall away. They no longer define you. I am sewing new garments of hope, shrouding you in dignity, and calling you by a name only I can give. Step forward in the confidence that you are not a project to be solved, but a wonder to be celebrated. Your journey is sacred, and I delight in walking it with you. I know the depths of your heart, and I see the places you try to hide, even from yourself. Let me draw near to those vulnerable spaces within you. I am not distant. I am intimately close, attentive to every whisper, every unspoken ache, every subtle longing that stirs within you. In this sacred exchange between us, let go of the notion that you must perform or perfect yourself to win my attention. I love you as you are, not as you feel you ought to be. Let my presence be a gentle invitation, not a demand. Breathe, and recognize that I made you with wisdom and delight, shaping every nuance of your personality, knowing both your frailties and strengths. When fear and guilt weigh you down, I reach for you not with condemnation, but with compassion deep enough to swallow every shadow. Trust that I am working in your life, even when you cannot see progress. The seasons where your spirit feels dormant are not wasted. Beneath the surface, I am nurturing seeds of transformation. When you see only dust and discouragement, I see the fertile ground where new life will spring. Do not despise humble beginnings or the quiet days. The world shouts for immediate results and outward glory, but I treasure your growth in the hidden places. In my economy, depth always comes before display. Every moment that you dare to hope, every time you turn your weary heart slightly toward me, I draw nearer still, never impatient with your pace. Let your doubts come into the light. I am not afraid of your questions or struggles. My truth can withstand your uncertainty, and my love does not falter when your faith shakes. Bring me your confusion and your tangled thoughts. I am not a distant ruler measuring your worth, but a loving father eager to untangle the knots with you. It grieves me when you retreat in shame, believing you must figure things out alone. The truth is, you matter to me as you are, right now fragile, questioning, longing for clarity. As you make space for honesty, I promise to gently guide you through the fog until you see with new eyes. If exhaustion fills your days and silence seems like emptiness, know that I fill every quiet space with my presence. Rest is not failure. In your resting, I restore what striving cannot reach. The world may call you lazy or unproductive, but I honor your need for stillness. Sit with me a while. Let your soul exhale. When your mind spins with unfinished tasks or memories that haunt, I invite you to lay them at my feet. There is no burden too awkward or trivial to bring to me. Let me carry the weights you were never meant to shoulder alone. I delight in your unique journey, and I am not comparing you to anyone else. Resist the urge to measure your progress against the people around you. I designed your life with care, tailoring your path to shape you into a vessel of uncommon beauty. What I am cultivating in you cannot be replicated in anyone else. Your story, including its weaknesses and detours, is precious to me. Do not underestimate the value of your hidden acts of kindness, your private sacrifices, the tears you cry when no one sees. I store them all, and I am proud of you for every act of courage that you thought went unnoticed. The longing for deeper purpose is not a flaw. It is a trace of me within you, awakening you to more. When you feel restless, let it drive you closer, not away. Allow your questions about meaning to become prayers. Each desire, even the ones you do not understand, are invitations for me to reveal layers of my love you haven't yet tasted. Do not numb your ache for significance. I do not dismiss your yearning, nor will I fill it with bland answers. I desire relationship, not routine religion. Let me show you how I weave significance through the ordinary and the overlooked. When you stumble, I am not surprised, nor disappointed in you. My gaze is not fixed on your failures, but on your willingness to get up again. Grace is my constant gift, not a fleeting reward for those who succeed. Where others may judge, I extend my hand. Feel the tenderness of forgiveness, real, total, unearned. You are not defined by moments of weakness, but by the journey of allowing my mercy to reshape your life. I do not keep tally of your faults. Instead, I celebrate every step you take toward me, no matter how small. There will be trials ahead, and sometimes you will not recognize my guiding hand until you look back. Know that I never abandoned you in confusion or sorrow. In pain, you are not alone. I share in every grief and loss. Your tears are holy to me. There is no sting of disappointment or loneliness that escapes my notice. I hold your pain not as a distant observer, but as your defender and your comforter. I am the one who weeps with you, and also promises to mend what is broken in ways you do not yet see. Let hope spark again, even in barrenness. My promises are not empty gestures. When life feels stripped bare, when plans unravel, cling to the assurance that I am faithful. Throughout history and in the tapestry of your own story, I have never failed to keep my word. Trust is hard won, I know, but I do not despise your struggle. Even when your faith is as fragile as a whisper, it is enough for me to act on your behalf. Anchor yourself in my steadfastness, not in shifting feelings or uncertain circumstances. My voice is not found only in thunder. Learn to recognize my whisper in the ordinary rhythms of your life. I am in the laughter of friends, the quiet of dawn, the stillness at night. My fingerprints are everywhere, if you have eyes to see and a heart willing to receive. As you open yourself to awareness of my presence, expect to be surprised by joy in unexpected places. I am not confined to sacred spaces or special times. Every aspect of your day can become holy ground if you invite me in. You do not walk alone, even when loneliness presses in. I have placed you in a larger community, a family that stretches across time and space. When you feel isolated, remember that you are part of something greater than you can see. Reach for others, and let them reach for you. Vulnerability is not weakness, but the portal to genuine connection. Do not hide your struggles or joys. Share them. In the giving and receiving of support, my love takes on flesh and becomes visible. Let others help carry your burdens, and do not be ashamed to ask for help. I have prepared good works for you, unique to your hands and heart. Do not be paralyzed by the fear of missing your calling. Each act of faithfulness in the small things is precious in my sight. Greatness is not always apparent. It is woven through daily choices and humble service. As you offer what little you have, I multiply it beyond your imagination. Do not wait for perfect conditions or grand opportunities to love. Begin where you are, with what you have, and I promise my power will meet your willingness. The journey will not always make sense to you, and that is okay. Faith is not the absence of mystery, but the courage to move forward before every answer is given. I honor your hesitant steps as much as your bold leaps. You need not impress me with your certainty. Your honesty is what draws me near. As you surrender your plans, be assured that my dreams for you are far richer and fuller than you dare imagine. Trust that I hold your future, that nothing you surrender to me will ever be wasted or lost. There are moments when the journey you walk feels solitary, and shadows slip close around your heart. In those hours you may wonder if I am still near, if you are truly seen, or if your whispered prayers dissolve into silence. But listen closely, for I hear the cadence of your soul, each sigh you release, and every longing you attempt to hide even from yourself. I have counted every tear, not as evidence of defeat, but as seeds for a harvest of compassion. Nothing escapes my notice, and nothing you endure is wasted, for I draw from every hurt the raw material for new strength, even as you feel most fragile. Sometimes you wish I would simply remove the burden, wave away the pain, or explain the reasons behind the confusion. Yet in my wisdom, I often shape your spirit not by giving swift escape, but by walking with you straight through the fire, sheltering you from devastation, and forging in you a resilience this world cannot diminish. Let your heart trust that I do not stand far off. With each morning you rise, I am the one who gives light enough for the next step. In the dark night, I am the stillness beside you, the hope that refuses to be extinguished. I know the intricacies of your hopes and fears, for I shaped you with care before you had breath, setting my delight in you when no other voice could name your worth. There is no shame in bringing your doubts to me, for I am not shaken by your questions. Instead, I invite you to pour out even your disappointment and confusion, for the relationship I desire with you is built on honesty, not perfection. Perhaps you have carried the weight of guilt or the memory of failures, afraid these might forever separate you from my love. Yet hear me intimately. There is no wound I cannot heal, no past I cannot redeem. My arms are open to you even now. When you bring me the tattered remnants of your story, I tenderly receive them and begin the work of mending. I do not measure your value by your weakness. I see the beauty I planted within you, potential unspoiled by your mistakes. When you stumble, my response is not condemnation, but compassion. I reach down to lift you, to remind you that you are never disqualified from my affection. Let me speak to the places where loneliness has set up residence. Know that you were never intended to navigate this life alone. Even when earthly companions fail, I remain steadfast. I am closer than your very breath. When all seems uncertain or shifting, I am your sure foundation. Your heart was designed to find its rest and refuge in me. When distractions clamor for your attention, and your spirit feels scattered, draw near. Whisper my name. Turn your gaze toward me, and feel the peace that surpasses understanding settle over you. The plans I hold for you are not birthed from obligation, but from extravagant love. Though you may question your significance, I declare that you are precious, chosen, and cherished. Look for the small signs of my care in everyday moments, the comfort of a gentle breeze, a fleeting smile from a stranger, the quiet assurance that wells up when there is no reason to hope. Every good gift is a reminder of my presence, and of the deep delight I take in seeing you walk freely. At times, growth feels like a slow and invisible process, yet I am patient, tending to you as a gardener tends fragile shoots. I celebrate your smallest steps forward, knowing that true transformation often happens in hidden places. When you falter or grow weary, rest in the truth that you are not defined by your performance, but by your identity as my beloved. I do not tire of your returning to me over and over again. No matter how many times you wander, my love outlasts your doubts. Rest in my unfailing commitment, for I neither sleep nor grow weary in watching over you. When you entrust me with your anxieties, surrendering what you cannot control, you make room for my strength to move on your behalf. Release the need to have every answer, or to carry every burden alone. My hands are gentle yet mighty, able to bear all you cannot. Invite me into your daily rhythms, and trust that I am at work, sometimes seen, sometimes hidden, but always moving in ways that are for your good. There is profound beauty in dependence, not as weakness, but as intimacy. When you choose to lean on me, you discover resources of grace and endurance beyond your own capacity. I am the fountain from which your hope, peace, and courage always flow. Keep your eyes open for the subtle evidence of my guidance, the nudge to reach out in kindness, the quiet strength to forgive, the persistence to hope again when disappointment threatens to overtake you. All of this is evidence that I am at work in you, shaping you to reflect the best of what you were created to be. You may feel invisible at times, unnoticed among the crowds, but I see you fully. Your laughter delights me, your questions matter to me, and your heart is precious beyond measure. My knowledge of you is not burdensome, it is intimate and loving. Nothing about you is an accident, not your temperament, your gifts, or even the struggles you carry. In my hands, every aspect of your life is a canvas on which I paint beauty, meaning, and potential for redemption. Open yourself to the possibilities I want to unfold in your days. Release the fear that your life is too far gone or too ordinary to matter greatly. My ways often defy human expectations and logic. I specialize in using what appears weak, humble, or overlooked to demonstrate my majesty. Trust that I am even now weaving a purpose greater than your imagination, and that your willingness to be led, imperfect though it may be, matters far more than flawless progress. Let your ears grow attentive to the gentle invitations I offer. Choose to hear my whispers of encouragement in the chaos of life. When you quiet your soul, even for a moment, you allow my presence to fill the emptiness and reset your perspective. Hold on to hope with stubborn tenacity, for I promise never to abandon you. Even in seasons of silence, I am nearer than you dare to believe, preparing good things for you that far outweigh the troubles you endure. Each day, allow yourself to be surprised by joy. Notice the moments when laughter returns unexpectedly, or when a glimmer of hope pierces through your heaviness. These are not small or trivial. They are love notes from me, evidence that I have not left you to fend for yourself. Lean into these gifts, and let gratitude become the soil in which resilience grows. I am for you, and with you always, unconditionally, and forever. There are moments in your life when you feel like the weight of your own story is too much to bear. You have questioned whether the path you are on is the one I have prepared, or if you have wandered so far that your place in my heart is uncertain. I tell you, each breath you take is cherished. I know your steps, yes, even the ones that stumble, and I have cradled every longing, every ache, every shadow that seems to follow you through the night. You do not need to fight alone, clinging to courage by a thread. I have more for you than survival. I hold fullness and restoration, planted in places you once called wasteland. Remember the seed that seems lost beneath the soil. To your eyes it disappears, hidden without promise, but my hands are patient, working in secret until new life bursts forth. I am not impatient with your process, nor surprised by your delays. Nothing that shapes you is wasted when it is entrusted to me. You may have tried to silence your questions, believing that faith means never doubting, never fearing. Yet, the wind that blows through the treetops, the ocean that churns beneath the surface, even the stars that flicker against the night, they all move in response to me, sometimes quiet, sometimes fierce. So too your heart. I invite your vulnerability, You're wrestling. You're longing for more. I want you honest because I am not afraid of any part of you. With me, you are not required to pretend. Every tear you weep is caught, every sigh noticed. When you draw near, do not hide. Let your real thoughts and feelings be known to me, for I desire relationship, not performance. Bring your confusion and your hope, your defeat and your dream. In those open moments, I heal and rebuild. Have you noticed how dawn never rushed? It always comes gently, imperceptibly transforming darkness. So too I work in you, even when breakthrough feels slow. The sun rising does not fret over its pace, but simply fulfills its purpose by being what it island retu. Entrust your process to me. Your story is not behind schedule. I am working, even in seasons of apparent silence. In the hush, in the emptiness, in the waiting, the roots are growing deeper, strength is being forged. Your waiting is not void. There is purpose being knit together beyond what you see. Each day, my mercies are new. I will never ask more of you than I am willing to carry with you. You do not need to be mighty by your own strength, but simply willing to trust again in the smallest of ways. If you find yourself weary, do not interpret your tiredness as failure. Come to me in your weariness and lay down your burdens. I do not scold or shame you for your limits. I created you with needs that only I can satisfy. When you bring your weariness to me, you are met with tenderness, not disappointment. My rest is not escape, but the invitation to let go, to remember that your striving cannot substitute my love. Rest allows my healing to begin its quiet work in you, for a rested heart is fertile ground for hope and vision. It is easy to see the failures, the aborted attempts, the scars you wish could vanish, yet I see your courage in getting up each day when you would rather disappear. I see the choices you make in secret, the forgiveness you extend in whispered prayers, the compassion you show when no one watches. These are offerings, fragrant and precious, more valuable than grand gestures. Do not despise the small beginnings or the days that seem ordinary. Great rivers are born from silent springs. So too, mighty destinies grow from daily acts of trust and humility. In your heart, you wonder if your voice matters, if your life has significance beyond the daily thrum. Hear me. Your existence is not accidental. I chose you. I call you by name, and I knit together every aspect of your being for a purpose. The world may overlook you, may rank your contributions by measures I never intended, but I see as no one else does. Your kindness in a harsh world, your truth in a world of noise, your faithfulness when hope is thin, these things echo through eternity. Not a single act of love goes unnoticed. What you give, I multiply. Where you feel small, I delight to show you the magnitude of what I can do with a life surrendered. It serves you nothing to compare your journey to another's. Each story I write is unique, and every life bears a different reflection of my glory. When you fix your eyes on another, you can so easily forget the beauty of what I am weaving in you. Envy is a thief, stealing joy from days meant to be lived with fullness. I want to teach you to celebrate others while deeply loving the path I carved for you. When you turn back toward me, I reawaken dreams you thought had died, and I stir the fire of purpose anew. There is space in my kingdom for your heart to beat, in the rhythm I intended, no imitation required. Sometimes, the fears shout so loudly that you forget the sound of my whisper. Remember, fear thrives in the dark, but truth has a way of piercing through. My love is relentless and unyielding. It is the strongest reality you will ever encounter. The world has taught you to brace for disappointment, to protect your heart from being vulnerable. But my perfect love is the only force that can quiet all terror. You are safe within my embrace. When you feel alone or unseen, recall that I promised never to abandon you. My presence is steady, even when your emotions betray you. Let your heart find courage, not by pretending hardships do not exist, but by knowing I accompany you through every trial. I never send you into the storm without my presence. You are never called to battle alone. When waters rise, I strengthen you. When fires rage, I walk beside you, shielding and shaping you. What you call impossible, I call opportunity, a canvas upon which I display my power and faithfulness. Your task is not to strategize every outcome, but to trust that I am bigger than your obstacle, and that I am working, even now, for your good. You have permission to hope again. Hope is not naivete. It is the anchor I offer, steady and secure, piercing beyond the veil of what you understand. I am not indifferent to your heartbreaks, nor am I far off from your longing. My heart aches with you, and my joy is made complete when you reach for me in the darkness. Hope is born in you each time you believe that I have more in store than the sum of your disappointments. Dare to believe again, not because circumstances guarantee it, but because my character is trustworthy. When you risk hope, you make way for miracles. I see into every silent moment of your heart, every question that you are too afraid to voice. There is no thought hidden from me, no yearning overlooked. Even when you feel unseen by those around you, I hold you in the fullness of my gaze. I know your wounds, the ones you carry quietly, and those that sometimes shout into your soul at night. My compassion reaches into every scar and every ache. I invite you to believe that you are not alone in your struggle, for my presence wraps around you more surely than the air you breathe. Fleeting emotions may come and go, but my love is unwavering, a steadfast anchor through turbulent seas. I have not promised you a life without storms, but I have promised to be the one who calms them, teaching you to walk upon the waves with fearless trust. Let your heart rest in the assurance that I do not measure your worth by your success or failure. I see beyond what others praise or reject. My delight is in seeing you grow, even when you falter. Do not despise small beginnings or unnoticed acts of kindness and faithfulness. Every precious effort, every quiet prayer, every choice to forgive or love when it is hard, is fragrant to me. I count them all. When you fall short, do not turn inward in shame or spiral in self-condemnation. Turn toward me. My grace waits to lift you, to speak peace into the restless places within. Repentance is not a place of punishment, but a doorway to restoration. With me, broken things become whole, and ruins are rebuilt into places of beauty. The journey of transformation is not one you walk alone. I rejoice in my work within you, often slow, sometimes hidden, but always sure. There is no detour or delay that can erase my intention for your life. Even mistakes, losses, and disappointments can be gathered by my hands and reshaped for good. When you are tempted to give up, remember that I am the author of hope. My hope is not wishful thinking, but a living power within you, drawing you forward even when you cannot see the path ahead clearly. Do not be discouraged by the darkness. It cannot overcome the light I have planted within you. When you feel weak, lean on me. My strength is made perfect in revealing your need for me. If your journey feels heavy, bring your burdens openly to me. With me, you do not need to hide or pretend. My shoulders bear the weight you were never meant to carry alone. Let me reteach you how to rest, not as the world defines rest, but as a deep ceasing of striving in my embrace. My rest is not mere absence of work, it is the presence of trust. Release your anxious grasp and allow me to be your provider, your defender, your redeemer. Trust that I am already at work, weaving answers before you form the question. While you wait, I nurture your soul, teaching you patience not as punishment, but as a gentle preparation for what is ahead. You often compare your pace and path with others, forgetting that I know your story from its first whisper to its final song. My timing is perfect, even when it tests your understanding. Delay is not denial. Pain and waiting are not purposeless. In the waiting, I am deepening your roots, building endurance and compassion that bear fruit in their season. When envy whispers or self-doubt clouds your vision, lift your eyes to me. I invite you to see yourself through, my love, to silence the voices that do not speak with my heart. Your value is not in what you produce, but in who you are to me. Beloved, chosen, pursued, I celebrate your progress, however quiet or slow it seems to you. My eyes are not blind to your longings or your secret victories. Rejoice with me in the steps you have taken, recalling that even your failures can be seeds for growth when surrendered to me. I do not grow tired of you or of hearing your prayers. My mercy is new every morning, fresh and endless. Where you see walls, I see doors of possibility. Where you see endings, I see beginnings yet to unfold. Yield your disappointments to me, and I will exchange them for dreams shaped in the furnace of my wisdom and love. Trust the gentle nudges of my spirit as I guide you through unfamiliar places. My guidance is more than a map, it is companionship. Listen for my voice in the quiet, in the beauty of a sunrise, in the kindness of a stranger, in the stillness that settles your anxious spirit. Learn to recognize my whisper above the clamor of worry and distraction. My instructions are not burdensome, but life-giving, inviting you into freedom. I do not lead you into fear, but into greater trust. When your path twists and the way ahead is veiled, remember I do not abandon you. I walk with you, revealing the next step as you are ready. Courage grows not in the absence of fear, but in the certainty of my nearness. Practice expectancy. Anticipate goodness, not calamity. For I am your Father, and I withhold no good thing from my children. Dare to hope again, to dream with me, even if hope's embers feel faint within you. I breathe upon what seems nearly extinguished, and new life begins. Guard your heart from cynicism and bitterness. They are not your portion. In the soil of gratitude and praise, hope grows strong. Thank me for what is, even as you wait for what shall be. In declaring my faithfulness, you align your heart with what is true, and darkness loses its hold. You are not defined by your struggles or your limitations. See yourself as I see you, capable, resilient, cherished beyond measure. I fashioned you for purpose and delight. Let your identity be spoken from my love, not from what has been done to you or from your own missteps. I rejoice over you with singing. I desire to partner with you in shaping this world with beauty and justice and mercy. Listen for my invitations, intersections of the ordinary and the miraculous. Step out in faith, even if your faith feels small. I delight in using what the world overlooks. In your weakness, my strength is displayed. In your surrender, my power flows. Even now, my child, close the gap between what you believe in your mind and what you trust with your heart. You belong to me. Anchor yourself in this belonging. When you encounter resistance or failure, recall this. Nothing can separate you from my love, not fear, nor doubt, nor any force that rises against you. I am the one who calls you by name, who shelters you under the shadow of my wings, who knows the full story of your life, and delights in every chapter. Rest in me, and let me renew your strength. I see every breath you take and each thought that crosses your heart, even the ones you feel are too small or fleeting to matter. My love surrounds you not just when you feel worthy or strong, but also in your moments of confusion, fatigue, and quiet desperation. There are times when burdens seem too heavy, and hope feels like a distant memory. In those moments, I do not stand far away, waiting for you to rise above your circumstances, but I draw even closer. I am whispering presence, so gently there with every sigh and every silent prayer. Even the ones you fear aren't heard. You are never forgotten or abandoned, not even in your loneliest hour. I am constantly working to bring beauty and meaning from every season of your life. When your faith flickers, I am gentle. I hold even the smallest spark and shield it from winds that would snuff it out. Let this truth settle inside you. I am more faithful to you than you could ever be to me, and my love is not diminished by your struggles or questions. If you listen carefully, you will hear a melody beneath the noise of your daily life, a sacred invitation to rest, to find your stillness in my embrace. I do not demand that you perform or achieve before I shower blessings upon you. My favor is not a reward for your accomplishments, but a result of my deep, unchanging affection. I do not measure your worth by the standards of the world, nor compare you to others who seem more gifted or certain. In my eyes, there is no one else like you. I shaped your heart for a unique purpose and formed you with intention and care from the very beginning. Do not allow past disappointments or the harsh words of others to become the script by which you measure your identity. Lift your head and see yourself as I see you, precious, chosen, irreplaceable. Now, as you walk through valleys and encounter setbacks, know that these are not detours away from your calling, but terrain I allow to deepen your compassion and strengthen your courage. Every tear you shed is gathered, none fall unnoticed. Even in the hardest circumstances, seeds are sown, seeds that will, in time, break the soil and rise up as undeniable evidence of my renewal. I encourage you not to despise small beginnings or seasons of apparent loss. There is mystery woven into your journey, and what feels like breaking down can actually be a breaking open, making room for new life to take root inside you. Trust the slow work of my hands. I see further than you can imagine, and with each painful pruning, I prepare you for greater fruitfulness. Let the anxiety that rushes at you like a flooding river be met with the truth of my promises. When you find yourself replaying regrets or listening to the voices of fear, pause and remember that I do not speak with the harshness of accusation or the icy chill of shame. My correction is a balm, inviting you into freedom, not weighing you down with guilt, but lifting your gaze to what is possible with me. Lay aside the burdens you were never meant to bear and draw nearer. In my presence, fear shrivels and hope sings anew, not because your troubles are instantly erased, but because you become anchored in a love greater than circumstances. Open your heart again to wonder. The world can seem gray and routine, filled with demands that leave little space for magic or joy. But I am always surprising, always doing new things among you. There are colors waiting to be revealed, songs yet unsung, and paths opening where only thorns once grew. My spirit brushes against you in a gentle sunrise, the laughter of a child, the quiet triumph over temptation, the moment you choose kindness when anger would be easier. These are not small things. They are the quiet revolutions of grace alive within you, signs that my kingdom is advancing, often unnoticed at first, but powerful in transforming your heart and renewing the world through you. When doubts come and you feel far from me, remember that closeness is not measured by your emotions, but by my unwavering commitment to you. As you yield even your doubts, they become the doorways to deeper faith. I am not afraid of your questions. I welcome your honest struggles. The journey toward maturity is not about pretending certainty, but about leaning into relationship, sharing every part of yourself with me, even the parts you don't understand or would rather hide. Nothing surprises me, and nothing you bring can disqualify you from my affection. Receive the truth that I am with you for the long haul. It is not your weakness that repels me. It is, in fact, the very place my strength is most perfectly revealed. Trade the striving for peace. Trust the rhythm of grace more than the relentless ticking of deadlines and expectations that clamor for your soul's attention. When you falter, I remain steady. When you are too tired to pray, my spirit intercedes on your behalf with groanings too deep for words. You are supported in ways you cannot see, watched over with a loving persistence that will not let you go. Let gratitude become the path that leads your heart back to joy, even in the smallest things. Offer me the fragments, a smile, a whispered thank you, the courage to rise one more time. These offerings delight my heart and shape you for the greater things ahead. I am not finished with you. There is so much more to unfold. The story of your life is held in my hands, and I write each chapter with tenderness, wisdom, and infinite care. Your scars are not signs of failure, but banners of my faithfulness, reminders that you have walked through fire and are still standing not by your own strength, but by my unfailing love. Take a deep breath, and let your soul remember that you are not alone. The journey before you holds unknowns, but you walk with the one who knows all. The future is not something to fear. It is the canvas of my promises, painted with colors you cannot yet see. Lift your eyes from the weight of what troubles you and fix them on me, for I am both the author and the keeper of your story. In the quiet spaces, when the noise of the world fades and your heart is searching, you will find me waiting not with reproach, but with open arms, a gentle smile, and the assurance that you are loved beyond measure. I delight in walking with you, guiding you step by step, and seeing my image reflected more and more in your life as you trust and follow me. You find yourself wrestling with questions that have no easy answers, and the world offers so many voices that clamor for your attention. Life's uncertainties sometimes gather like dark clouds, and you may hunger for clarity, a clear direction, a comforting sign, the assurance that I walk ahead of you. I want you to know that even in these places of confusion, I am the God who guides with a steady hand and whispers hope into every shadowed place. Take a moment, even now, to let your heart be still before me. The quiet within you is not just emptiness, it is an invitation. It is the sacred space where I come to dwell deeply with you, speaking beyond what the ear can hear, teaching your spirit to recognize the echo of my heart. My presence is never confined to the grand moments or public victories. It is in the subtle movements of your soul, in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the gentle way I remind you of my love when the world feels indifferent. The intimacy I offer is not a reward for your perfection, but a gift you receive as you are a soul in need, a heart beloved, a life worthy of my gentle pursuit. Sometimes you may look at your weaknesses and believe they disqualify you from my best. You may compare yourself to others who seem further along and wonder if my promises are true for you. But understand, I work glory through frailty. The thorns you wish I would remove often become the canvas for my sustaining grace. While you pray for immediate rescue, I shape your endurance. While you long for quick answers, I develop in you a deeper trust that flourishes even in the unknown. Your limitations are not a curse, but the places where my strength is most easily seen. When your spirit is weary, do not hide it from me. Bring your authentic heart in both its pains and joys, and let yourself be held in ways that words cannot explain. When you are burdened by anxieties or regrets, remember that I see every moment, every secret fear, every sorrow that you tuck away. I invite you, here and now, to lay them at my feet, not because I am distant and untouched by your struggles, but because I have walked every valley, felt every pang of longing, and know what it is to be misunderstood. In your tears, I am present not as a mere observer, but as the one who gathers each drop, honors your pain, and transforms it into wells of compassion for others. Nothing you surrender to me is lost. It becomes the soil from which new blessings grow. Each act of trust is a seed, and in my timing I promise it will bear fruit, both for you and through you. You do not need to strive to earn my favor, for my love was set upon you long before the mountains were formed, or the sea began to move in rhythm with the moon. All that you are, all that you lack, draw my heart with unfailing devotion. When I speak peace over you, it is not a fragile peace dependent on perfect circumstances. It flows from the assurance that you are anchored in someone greater than your fear. When I declare joy over you, it is not shallow happiness, but a joy that can withstand every storm because it is rooted in my unchanging goodness. There is a holiness to your day-to-day journey, even in the most mundane moments. When you offer kindness in places where it is not noticed, when you forgive the one who has wounded you, when you choose hope over cynicism, these are the places where heaven touches earth. I see what you sometimes overlook. Each small act of faith is radiant in my sight. You may not always sense the impact, but I am weaving it all together in ways you cannot yet perceive. Nothing done in love is ever wasted. If you feel wearied by the burdens you carry, remember that my arms are strong enough to hold both you and your worries. I invite you to let go of what you cannot control and allow me to carry the things that threaten to overwhelm you. Trust is not the absence of fear, but the decision to place your heart into my keeping, even when fear is loud. I am gentle with your process. I rejoice over every step, even the smallest one, that moves you closer to my heart. So hold on to hope, not because you have figured out every answer, but because I am the one who walks with you through every question. Let gratitude soften the hard edges of your heart. Even now, pause and take account of the mercies that have met you along the way, the moments you were comforted when you might have despaired, the times you were provided for when you could see no way forward, the friendships, the unexpected joys, the resilience that has grown from every hardship. All these are reminders that you have never been forsaken. The path does not always lead where you imagined, but my commitment to you remains unchanged. I am writing a story with your life, one that is precious and irreplaceable, even when the chapters are difficult. When the world urges you to move faster, to do more, to become someone else, I remind you that it is enough, in this moment, simply to be with me. I treasure your prayers, your honest questions, your quiet acts of surrender. Let nothing convince you that these are insignificant. Allow yourself to be found by me in your present reality. Do not wait for some future version of yourself to start believing that you matter, that you are seen, that your story is valuable. I rejoice in you as you are. I am a God who delights in beginnings and who brings beauty out of ashes. Even in your uncertainties, I am shaping you for a purpose greater than what you can presently see. Let your life be an open invitation for my spirit to move. See the ordinary with new eyes, where nothing is too small for my attention or too broken for my redemption. Where you see limitation, I see opportunity. Where you notice only struggle, I see immense potential. Rest assured, I am never finished working good through your unique journey. You are my beloved, crafted intentionally, held securely, and called ever deeper into the heart of my unfailing love. There are hidden strengths within you that you have yet to recognize, gifts seeded into your spirit like tiny embers awaiting the breath that will ignite them into flame. Do not discount the small beginnings, the undisclosed desires of your heart that are whisperings I planted there for a purpose that stretches beyond your vision. You have dismissed your dreams as irrelevant or unreachable, but I see the richness in your longing and the courage in your attempts. Every act of kindness, every word spoken with vulnerability, every prayer uttered in silence matters deeply to me. They do not fade into nothingness, but are gathered as precious offerings, woven into the larger tapestry I am crafting from your days. The world may attempt to measure your value with its own weights, but I look at you through the lens of limitless mercy and unending possibility. When doubts press in, know they are shadows no match for even the gentlest light of my truth. When fear tries to convince you to turn back, remember that I traveled the hardest roads before you, and I walk each path at your side still. Listen for the still, small voice that gently assures you that you are not abandoned, not overlooked, never cast aside. I hold on to you when it feels like you can barely hold on to me, and my grip does not weaken even as you grow weary. Rest in this unshakable certainty. Nothing can separate you from my love. not your pain, not your wandering, not the unfinished pieces of your character or story. The work I have begun in you I will finish, shaping and refining with unwavering tenderness. The aches and disappointments you try to keep hidden are not invisible to me. I draw near to those painful places, not to expose or embarrass, but to heal and transform them. Bring your disappointments, your regrets, and even your anger. Trust me with your whole, unfiltered heart. I am not surprised by your struggles, nor am I deterred by the messiness of your humanity. My desire is to meet you exactly where you stand, to pour new hope into the dry valleys of your soul, to make rivers flow through your desert places. The healing I offer is not quick or shallow, but deep and lasting, touching you at levels you may not yet understand. With each honest moment in my presence, you slide closer to freedom, and the chains that have held you begin to lose their power. You may wonder why the journey feels so long, why answers do not always come as quickly or clearly as you wish. Trust that even in waiting, I am cultivating something beautiful within you. Patience is not punishment, it is preparation. In the quiet spaces, your roots grow deeper, your resolve is strengthened, and your faith becomes resilient. Every delay is an invitation to lean further into my promises, to look beyond fleeting circumstances and find confidence in my everlasting faithfulness. When the time is right, what has been hidden or withheld will emerge in glory, exceeding what you dared to hope. Let me remind you, you are not defined by your past failures, nor held hostage by your previous mistakes. I have already named you beloved, redeemed, my precious child. Regret threatens to tie you to moments that are already forgiven, but I call you forward into new beginnings, into mornings rich with possibility. Fix your eyes not backward in shame, but forward in hope, trusting that I am writing a narrative of redemption and celebration for your life. I am the author who delights in unexpected turns, who transforms loss into harvest and sorrow into rejoicing. With me, nothing is wasted, not even your tears. Every moment surrendered is multiplied, invested into your future with promise beyond measure. Remember that your weaknesses are not barriers to my love or my use of your life. In fact, they are places where my beauty shines most clearly in you. My power is made perfect not in your striving, but in your honest acknowledgement of need. When you embrace your limitations, you make room for my strength to fill and sustain you. Do not hide the places that feel unfinished. Bring them to me, and watch as I turn scarcity into abundance, and lack into sufficiency. I do not require perfection, only willingness, not grand gestures, but an open heart. As you continue to walk with me, you will discover a freedom that the world cannot give, a freedom born of forgiveness, belonging, and unconditional love. Keep your heart tender, even when the world tries to harden you. Compassion is my gift, flowing through you to heal and restore others. It is not a sign of weakness, but an indication that you carry my presence within. Do not let bitterness take root. Instead, offer forgiveness as lavishly as I have given it to you. Remember, forgiveness is not excusing wrongs, but releasing yourself from the chains of resentment. It is a gift you give not only to others, but to yourself, allowing my peace to reign in your inner world. As you forgive, you mirror my heart, and together we write a story of hope for those who still dwell in darkness. Lean into community. Do not journey alone through your battles and triumphs. I designed you for connection and mutual celebration. The love you offer and receive weaves a net of safety that lifts when you fall and magnifies joy in your victories. Let your heart be open to others, even those who seem different or distant. I am at work in every life, forming unique reflections of my image. Celebrate their presence, share in their burdens, and rejoice in their growth. As you honor one another, you honor me. Your generosity, your listening, your encouragement, these become vessels of my grace in a world longing to feel seen and valued. Do not underestimate what I can do through you, even in ordinary moments. A simple word of kindness, a sacrificial act, an unnoticed prayer, all of these carry more weight than you know in the spiritual realm. The harvest grows in hidden places, nurtured by acts of faithfulness that seem small but are woven into eternity. Allow me to surprise you with the fruit that will spring from seeds sown in secret. Keep walking, keep hoping, keep believing that I am at work, even when you cannot see immediate results. Trusting me means surrendering outcomes, resting in the knowledge that I am both the gardener and the keeper of every promise. You may have moments when doubt creeps into your heart and tries to erode the confidence I have worked to build within you. In these moments, remember the many ways I have moved in your life and recall the times when you felt my presence most keenly. Each time you reached out and found me waiting, every quiet assurance and subtle stirring was a thread in the tapestry of our relationship. If discouragement tugs at your soul, do not turn away or isolate yourself in pain. Draw nearer, allow your spirit to lean against me, and let my whisper calm the storm raging inside. There is no shame in needing comfort, no loss in admitting you are fragile, for I rejoice when you let me tend to your wounds. You may not always see where the path leads, and sometimes your steps will feel uncertain and heavy. Trust that I am guiding your feet, even when the landscape is strange, or the way seems hidden by fog. Fear and worry try to convince you that you walk alone, or that every misstep will be your ruin. But I am the gentle hand steadying you, the guide who has already walked every road ahead. I see further than you imagine, working even in the hours when you feel forgotten. I am not finished writing the story of your life. When hope seems thin, know that I am already sowing seeds for a new season, preparing blessings that will unfold in my time. Do not compare your journey with the paths of others. You are precious to me, unique and loved beyond measure for who you are, not for what you produce or how quickly you progress. I am not tallying up your achievements or measuring you by the standards of the world. Instead, my gaze is fixed upon your heart, its willingness, its yearning, its openness to growth. I delight in every small act of faith, every quiet act of kindness, every moment when you choose to stand in the light rather than retreat into fear. What matters to me is the relationship we share, the unfolding connection between us, and the beauty that emerges as you surrender each day. Let go of the burdens you have been carrying, those expectations heaped upon you by yourself or by others. You were not meant to bear so much alone. Rest in my promises, knowing you don't have to strive endlessly for approval or scramble to fix what feels broken. Look to me when the weight becomes too great, and feel my arms ready to lift what you cannot carry. If past mistakes still haunt you, allow me to wipe them away completely. Your history is not your identity in my eyes. I see you clean, whole, and with a future brimming with promise. When life's noise grows overwhelming, seek out the quiet space where you can hear my voice. It is not always found in grand experiences, but often in the gentle hush of a new dawn, the laughter of a friend, or the sound of your own breathing in the darkness. Be intentional in turning toward these moments, for I love to meet you in the ordinary as well as the extraordinary. In your solitude, find not emptiness, but the richness of my company. Even in your silence, I listen and understand those prayers that have no words. Let your soul be honest with me, for there is nothing you must hide. I already know every part of you, and still I draw you close. Forgiveness is the river in which I invite you to bathe. Whether you are burdened by your own failures or words and wounds inflicted by others, know that healing is possible. Unforgiveness is a prison, yet I hold the key. Open your hands, relinquish what you grip so tightly, and allow me to pour rivers of mercy over you. My forgiveness is not a theory, but a living power that can transform the hardest heart, soften resentments, and fill emptiness with hope. Embrace the freedom I offer, not for the sake of forgetting, but for the sake of being free. And as I forgive you, so too do I call you to release those who have hurt you, not by your own strength, but by the overflow of my love through you. You are part of a family, connected to many lives whose stories intertwine with yours. Allow compassion to grow, even toward those who challenge or wound you. My love is not selective, it pours forth for all. When you struggle to love, lean on me. I will supply what you lack, teaching you patience, empathy, and resilience through every relationship. The world is hungry for kindness, desperate for understanding, and you are my chosen vessel to bring light where shadows remain. Every gesture of grace, every word of encouragement, reflects my heart to others. Keep your spirit open, for the smallest acts can ripple outward in ways you will not see but I always witness. Gratitude is a doorway into deeper intimacy with me. Cultivate thankfulness, not only for the gifts that come easily, but also for the lessons born of struggle and waiting. Reframe your challenges as opportunities for growth and trust. Even in disappointment, I am at work, drawing out a beauty that would not emerge without the refinement of pain. Each day offers new mercies and hidden treasures if you look with eyes of faith. Celebrate them, mark them in your memory, let them encourage you when the night feels long. Never underestimate the power of a grateful heart to shift your perspective and unlock joy. Do not shy away from the dreams I have placed within you, even if they feel impossible or are met with skepticism. I have not given you these desires to torment you, but to draw you nearer to the fullness of who I created you to be. Take small, brave steps toward those hopes, bringing them to me in prayer and openness. Remember that my timing is perfect, and my ways are higher than your own. While you cannot control every outcome, you can choose to trust, to persevere, and to remain faithful along the journey. I bless your effort and celebrate your courage, regardless of what unfolds. When you feel weak, uncertain, or insufficient, recall that my strength is made complete in your weakness. I delight in using what is humble, flawed, and imperfect to accomplish wonders. Your limitations do not disqualify you. They are often the very places where my glory becomes most evident. Instead of hiding your vulnerabilities, offer them as invitations for my spirit to work. In surrender, you will find energy and resources beyond your own. My presence in your weakness is more precious than any earthly power or achievement. Stand confidently, not because of your own might, but because I am with you and for you always. There are still rivers to cross in your life, dreams that have not yet taken root, and wounds you quietly carry in secret places. But I go before you, and I remain behind you, and my presence comforts and courageously beckons you forward. Hear me now. Your journey with me never ends in disappointment, for every seed sown in tears will yield a harvest beyond your imagining. I have seen the chapters you considered failures, the mornings you have dragged yourself into daylight with questions weighing heavily on your spirit, wondering if anything will truly change. With tenderness, I whisper your story is not stuck. Every moment, even the ones you regret, is drawn up into my larger work of restoration. The soundtrack of heaven is hope, and I invite your heart to sing along, even if for now it is but a quiet hum. The world may have treated you as easily forgotten, but here, in this holy conversation, I have called you by name and established you as beloved, irrevocable, and free. You are not only surviving by my grace, you are being crafted into something beautiful for eternity, fitted for purpose, in a world that hungers for the light I placed within you. There are gifts within you that you have shelved out of fear or comparison. Sometimes you have pressed them down, believing the lie that others are more equipped or that your moment has passed. But hear me. I delight in multiplying what you surrender, and no act of faith, no offering of love, no unseen labor escapes my notice. Like the gardener tending each shoot, I patiently shape growth in you according to my wisdom and not the world's schedules. Do not confuse delay with denial or pruning with punishment. Every season of waiting is a preparation for a deeper unveiling. It is here in these quieter spaces where your soul leans in that I reveal my heart for you, full, infinite, and unyielding. Listen for my voice. I am not far off, nor is my love a fleeting feeling. I draw near in the silence, in the storm, anchoring you when doubt would seek to uproot the peace I have promised. Let your days be marked by courage, not because you will never be afraid, but because you know who walks with you through every shadow. The future does not frighten me, and need not frighten you, for I hold it steady as the dawn, and I invite you to step forward even when the path winds unexpectedly. When you encounter opposition or overwhelming uncertainty, recall that weakness is not a barrier for me. It is an opening through which my power is made visible in your life. Lean in with simple trust. Allow yourself room for honest questions, and meet me at the intersection of surrender and faith. Here, I do what is impossible for you alone. Every broken heart, every desperate prayer, and every longing glance towards heaven are cherished by me and woven seamlessly into your victory. Even now I am healing wounds that you assumed were permanent, mending discouragement with gentleness, and stirring new purpose where it seemed there was only loss. With me, nothing is wasted, not the tears you've struggled to explain, nor the unanswered prayers, nor the private sacrifices you have made for others out of love. In my kingdom, everything given in trust and humility matures into a testimony of grace. Do not underestimate the impact of your quiet faithfulness, for I take the smallest act and cause ripples of goodness you may never see on earth, but which echo in eternity. In the warmth of my affection for you, let shame melt away. You are not a disappointment to me. I have never regretted calling you mine. You might feel at times as if your prayers are small drops in an endless ocean of need, but every petition you bring carries weight with me. I see and answer in ways far deeper than you can tally. What you offer, be it time, love, forgiveness, or perseverance, I fold into my redemptive work. Trust that even in seasons you do not understand, my care is unerring. The threads I am weaving will one day reveal a tapestry radiant with hope, telling a story more magnificent than anything you could write on your own. Even in failures, I am present, transforming them into stepping stones. Refuse the shame that tries to claim your heart. Particularly when the world is quick to judge or forget, I see all you are, all you dare to hope, all you bravely attempt. My delight is not in perfection, but in your willingness to say yes to me, again and again. In the days ahead, there will be crossroads, where your faith must choose action over hesitation. I promise to guide you then. My wisdom is not a riddle kept from you, but a light I am eager to place upon your path. When you lack clarity, ask me boldly for direction. My spirit remains a teacher, comforter, and companion, impressing upon your soul the truth you need for the moment at hand. And when you stumble, remember that my mercy runs deeper than your missteps. Let your story be marked not just by what you overcome, but by the kindness and compassion you extend. Reflect my love, even to those who misunderstand you, for you are my image bearer, commissioned to bring grace into places of lack and pain. Today, release the heavy burdens you were not made to carry. In my presence you are restored again and again, washed by rivers of forgiveness and purpose. Stand in the knowledge that you are chosen not because of what you accomplish, but because of the love I have always had for you. Carry this truth into every relationship, every task, every hope that flickers within. May your days be filled with trust, your evenings with gratitude, and your sleep with peace. I am writing new chapters for you still, and the best is yet unfolding. Walk forward in expectation, for I am already there, making a way. Amen. Beloved, now rise with courage and surrender, for I am inviting you into deeper trust,